Good morning, Manitoba. It is Wednesday, June 25th. You're watching CTV Morning Live. Thank you so much for being with us. Ainsley McPhail is live at a museum today, the Winnipeg Firefighters Museum. She's going to take us around, give us a history of firefighting in the city, as well as show us some really cool equipment. But first, your headlines. Some good news for evacuees and cottagers. Parts of Manitoba are reopening as wildfire danger eases, but not every campground is ready yet. We'll break down the latest. Construction season is heating up, and so are the tempers of some Winnipeggers. We'll show you why a project on St. Anne's Road is getting more backlash than buzz. And what the hail is in our atmosphere? Scientists are slicing into storm stones to find out, and the results are anything but frozen facts. Bringing in Catherine Dow is in for Terry Apostle this week, for the rest of this week. It was a pretty nice evening last night.
Sure was, and you know what, tonight we have another equally gorgeous evening ahead. Decent day as well, depending on your taste weather-wise. Currently we're at 11 degrees, a little pink in our skies, a few clouds lingering. Winds are out of the north-northeast. They're going to stay relatively light throughout the day. The barometric pressure is rising and the humidity sits at 92%. So for the most part, we're in store for lots of sunshine and warm temperatures, seasonal temperatures. You are seeing a slight disturbance there on our radar, kind of just in the very southerly and most notably in the southwest corner of our province. There is a slight chance of some rain and maybe some thunderstorm activity. So for us here in south central parts like in Winnipeg, as the day progresses, we start with the clouds, and that little smattering means that slight chance of rain, while the southwest has the same but added maybe some instability, maybe some thunderstorms. Not much to tell you about to the north. Lots of sunshine for you, maybe a couple clouds overnight while we too deal with a few. There is that light instability coming over from the Saskatchewan border. That's bringing the possibility of some rainfall into Thursday afternoon, while the southeast also deals with something similar. While we here will be dealing with plenty of sunshine. However, into the weekend we could be dealing with a bit of a mixed bag. Let's get back today, shall we? 24 degrees with that low chance of showers. That kind of tapers off into the early afternoon. Into tomorrow, a high of 25 degrees under lots of sunshine. Even warmer Friday. Saturday, oh apologies, it should, oh yeah, Saturday rainfall, I did that correctly, but Sunday a low chance of rain as well.
Thanks, Catherine. More cottage areas and campgrounds are reopening as the province says the wildfire danger has dropped across much of the province. As of this morning at 9 a.m., residents and cottage owners will be allowed to return to Schist Lake, Big Island Lake, and Little Atapascow. Baker's Narrows Provincial Park will reopen at the same time for residents, cottagers, and commercial operators. However, overnight and seasonal camping will remain closed until at least July 17th. In Nopaming Provincial Park, the Bird Lake Campground will stay closed until at least July 10th. The province says Tullaby Falls needs a considerable amount of cleanup and won't reopen until early August. Black Lake, Beresford Lake, and Shoe Lake will not reopen at all this season. And officials say anyone who was planning backcountry trips in Nopaming this summer should change their plans. Some 4,800 evacuees from Flin Flon are set to begin returning home this morning as well. There are currently 18 active wildfires in Manitoba, 7 fewer than on Monday. Meanwhile, firefighters in northwestern Ontario have a massive wildfire under control. Ontario Forest Fires posted on social media that a fire named Kenora 20, which started near Ingulf, west of Kenora, is now under control. The fire started May 12th and burned through thousands of hectares of forest, prompting evacuation warnings in eastern Manitoba. The Post says the fire is now contained with the help of some recent rainfall and also thanks to the hundreds of personnel who helped bring the fire under control. Road construction projects, both large and small, have shifted into high gear at dozens of locations around Winnipeg. And one project in particular is drawing the ire of local businesses and residents, a major revamp on St. Anne's Road. CTV's John Hendricks explains why this route is a sore spot.
There's a lot of activity going on in the kitchen at the Van Cy restaurant, but it's the exact opposite in their dining room.
A lot of our customers are a lot of older generations, and they have a harder time finding parking.
Harder because of a massive pavement renewal project on St. Anne's Road scheduled to last for 20 weeks. The work has reduced traffic to one lane on both sides of the street. That's taken away all the parking in front of the restaurant and other area businesses.
Pretty much daily, at least half of our clients and our practitioners and staff have to call in and say, I will be quite a bit late.
Everybody's struggling, and the construction is not helping at all.
Mandy Pepe, the executive director of the Old St. Vital Biz, says while businesses agree the roads need to be repaired, many question the city's approach to it. Could they not do one section at a time? And if not,
a lot of businesses are asking for some type of, something from the city, maybe, a break on their taxes or something.
In a statement to CTV News, a spokesperson for the city writes, "We do not provide compensation to businesses affected by construction. In 2023, we conducted a survey of major Canadian cities to investigate their practices regarding potential compensation related to business lost during road construction. None of the cities had a universal compensation program." But even if help isn't coming from the city, some Winnipeggers are coming to the aid of Van Cy Restaurant. A social media post about the construction-related problems has led to an increase in takeout orders.
It was almost like the pandemic all over again. We survived that. Now I'm sure we can survive this. So.
John Hendricks, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The city says they're very willing to troubleshoot what help businesses may need if there are issues that were not anticipated or they underestimated the impact of. The total budget for the work on St. Anne's is $5.8 million, and barring any weather-related delays, this construction is scheduled to end this fall. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith revealed more of her vision Tuesday about exploring the possibility of future referendums.
They will consider and hear from Albertans on the risks and benefits of ideas like establishing an Alberta pension plan, utilizing an Alberta Provincial Police Service rather than the RCMP for community policing.
The plan involves challenging Ottawa over what Smith says are intrusions into provincial matters. Smith has said a referendum on Alberta separation could happen, but she would not initiate it herself. The so-called Alberta Next panel will go on a listening tour, speaking to people about questions they want to put to the province. Leaked reports are raising questions about the effectiveness of U.S. strikes on Iran's nuclear sites.
He sent B-2 bombers and dropped 12 30,000-pound bombs on the worst facility and destroyed that program.
The White House claims the strikes destroyed Iran's nuclear program, with U.S. President Donald Trump saying this morning that it's been put back by decades. But reports citing an early assessment from the Pentagon say the strikes likely only set the program back for a few months tops. The assessment also suggests Iran moved its enriched uranium out of its sites before the strikes, and facilities sitting deep underground are still intact. Israel this morning backed the White House, saying Iran's nuclear program has been set back for years. Being pummeled by hail is not fun, so why would people go chasing after it? Because it's for science. In what's being called a first-of-its-kind project, researchers are collecting hailstones to see what storms leave behind. Once they're collected, the ice balls are sent to labs across the U.S. They are then sliced, diced, and melted to see what's inside, and it's more than water. Researchers have found fungi, bacteria, even microplastics, offering clues about what's in the air. Here's a look now at what's happening at Main and Broadway. There doesn't seem to be any issues over here. Traffic moving quite well and lightly at this point. If you see any issues out there, though, please let us know. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who is live this morning at the Winnipeg Firefighters Museum. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, Rochelle, but hey, it's coming out. This is one of my favorite museums in Manitoba, built in 1904, one of Canada's oldest fire halls. It was actually active until 1990, but now the public can enjoy all of the historical artifacts that you can find inside. Original stained glass, horse-drawn carriage for that time, authentic steamers from back then as well. So throughout the morning, we're going to give you a bit of a tour. There are 2 levels to it as well, and it's actually being filmed currently for a motion picture. I also wanted to tell you about that history of the paramedic service dating back 50 years. There's a book coming out currently being printed called Who You Gonna Call. It will be available here at the Fire Hall. It's just not here quite yet, so keep your eyes and ears peeled for that.
Sounds good. Okay, thank you. Catherine, 'tis the season to garden, and some people need all the help they can get. Oh my my goodness. This woman has 4 happy helpers. Look at her assistants carrying their watering cans into the garden. The only downside is they don't want to give up their jugs when it's actually time to water. Oh my gosh, how sweet.
Good help is hard to find. She's got like, what, 4 or 5?
They're so happy to help. Look at their little tails just wagging away.
Well, also they know that the better they are with helping with the garden, the nicer their backyard is for the rest of the summer, and they get to enjoy all the fruits of their labor.
Love this so much. I wish I had this kind of help when I was watering my garden.
Say that again, Rochelle. Sorry, what'd you say?
I said I wish I had that much help watering my garden.
I know.
I could use it. How's it feeling out there right now?
You know, it's feeling pretty gorgeous. And on the note of gardening, I actually hadn't seen the planters since they got our spring-summer upgrade. They're looking lovely. Speaking of lovely, it's rather pleasant out here. 11 degrees with a bit of cloud coverage. Winds are to the north-northeast, excuse me. The barometric pressure is rising and the humidity sits at 94%. So a lot of sunshine on the way to the north, plus temperatures in the low 20s. Some areas could get upper teens, but for the most part, very pleasant with those light winds. For us here in the south, however, we're going to start off fairly cloudy. Many regions of the south central Manitoba certainly will, like us here in Winnipeg. And that comes with it a slight chance of some rainfall. To the west, same risk, however, add in some instability with a chance of thunderstorms. Temperatures very similar to what you're seeing in the north. It highs into the mid-20s for us here in Winnipeg. Refresh my memory, I am correct, 24 degrees, just a hair below what's typical for this time of year, and those winds staying light. Overnight, partly cloudy skies, temperatures dipping down to 14, and tomorrow, sunny skies, lots of heat. I'm talking about a high of 25 degrees, and we'll get even warmer to end off the work week. All right, I'm going to take a break, but stay with us. So much more CTV Morning Live just ahead.
CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Good morning. Coming up to 6:15. The Manitoba government is moving closer to changing a highway intersection where a bus crash killed 17 people. The province is holding another open house tonight in Carberry, not far from where a minibus carrying 24 seniors was struck by a semi-trailer in 2023 while trying to cross the Trans-Canada Highway. No charges were laid in the bus crash because investigators found the bus driver's actions that day weren't criminal. During the open house, the province plans to table some options for the intersection, including widening the median and turning the intersection into a roundabout. The province is launching a new program it says will help Manitobans save money on their energy bills.
Ground source heat pumps are among the most efficient way to heat and cool our homes.
The Affordable Home Energy Program offers options, including ones with no upfront costs, to cover the installation of heat pumps for eligible homeowners. Efficiency Manitoba says this could save people between $300 and $1,000 a year on their energy bill.
So the bill will go down because of the geothermal technology is a more efficient source, and that monthly payment will be less than what those savings are.
Efficiency Manitoba says it will provide a net savings for homeowners. The program is expected to cost around $10 million a year. There are around 40 certified installers in the province currently. Contact Efficiency Manitoba for more information. Inflation held steady last month, even though the price of food and vehicles went up. CTV's Adrian Gobriel with a breakdown and how the future of a key waterway in the Middle East could impact Canadians.
How are you doing today? For 3 years, inflation has been siphoning cash out of the wallets of Canadians. The cost to fill your cart with groceries feeling more expensive with each visit. While inflation held steady at 1.7% in May, the price at the grocery store increased by 3.3%. The cost of a new vehicle accelerated by 4.9%. Shelter costs, including rents and utility payments, also ticked up 3%.
Some of the so-called underlying measures of inflation, the core measures that the Bank of Canada looks at, they're still running around 3% on a yearly basis, and that's probably a bit outside the Bank of Canada's comfort zone.
The removal of the consumer carbon price at the pumps continues to drive down the price at gas stations annually, though the tentacles of the war in the Middle East are threatening to also hit the bank accounts of Canadians.
Well, any spike in oil prices inevitably leads to disruption in other markets.
Iranian officials have threatened to cut off access to the Strait of Hormuz, a key shipping route for oil and gas. The waterway, located between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, is just 33 kilometers wide at its narrowest point, requiring oil tankers to pass through both Iranian and Omani territorial waters. Carrying 20 million barrels of oil through the strait every day, amounting to 20% of global production, this is the only way to ship crude from the oil-rich Persian Gulf to the rest of the world. Iran controls its northern side.
The price of oil could roughly double to 150. Well, this would lower growth further and raise inflation yet further.
Oil prices have come back down after spiking during the first few days of this conflict. What takes place in the days ahead will likely influence the Bank of Canada's next interest rate decision, scheduled for July 30th.
An Ontario court has ruled survivors and family members of the 2018 Danforth mass shooting in Toronto can proceed with a class action lawsuit against gun maker Smith & Wesson.
Having that gun available in retail shops across the country made it vulnerable to theft, which is exactly what happened. The gun ended up in the hands of the wrong person.
10-year-old Juliana Kozis and 18-year-old Reese Fallon were killed and 13 others were injured. The gunman opened fire with a stolen Smith & Wesson semi-automatic handgun. Ontario's Court of Appeal has certified the class action suit against the company, overturning a lower court ruling which originally dismissed the action. NATO leaders are meeting in The Hague at this hour for what could end up being an historic summit.
They have very big things to announce today. I don't know if you've taken the vote or you're going to take the vote, but I've been asking them to go up to 5% for a number of years, and they're going up to 5%. That's a big, from 2%. And a lot of people didn't even pay the 2%.
New defense spending pledges are expected to be the focus of today's meetings. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte is proposing members more than double their current defense spending target from 2% of GDP to 5%. The proposal would include hiking spending to 3.5% of annual GDP on core defense needs like jets and other weapons. Another 1.5% would focus on infrastructure like roads, cybersecurity, and industry. Canada and European allies also want Ukraine to be a focus today. Trump will also be meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
How much is it actually for you?
5% of our GDP would be about $150 billion.
I mean, that's a lot.
It's a lot of numbers.
Per year?
Per year.
Prime Minister Mark Carney speaking with CNN's Christine Amanpour Tuesday about the proposed new spending target. NATO says Canada spent $41 billion on defense last year. Some allies have proposed 2029 as the deadline for reaching the new spending target. Canada has just pledged to finally meet the current 2% target this year. The Prime Minister says Canada will reach the likely new target in part by developing its critical minerals and the infrastructure needed to get them to market. Canada does have some of the world's largest deposits of critical minerals. Here's a look now what's happening outside at Portage at Polo Park. Traffic is moving well over here. No issues to tell you about. If you see any problems out there, though, please let us know.
Taking a check out now on our live eye. It's 11 degrees, a lovely sunny sky to kick us off, a couple of clouds. Winds are out of the north-northeast. The barometric pressure's on the rise and the humidity is at 94%. Sunshine and lots of it for the north. A bit of a different story for us here in the south. I'll have the details in a moment. Right now, though, we're starting off mild and warm. We're cracking the double-digit mark for the most part. A little bit cooler in Gimli at 9. Quite a bit cooler in Dauphin at 4. To the north, very similar temperatures, and this is the region that's going to be dealing with tons of sunshine. Also the region that is hoping for some rain given all the wildfire activity of this year. The good news is there is some in the cards, but it's going to come likely tomorrow, and there could be some instability with it. Not what we want to see with that wildfire fight. Meantime, for us here in the south, you see a little bit of a disturbance there, particularly, let me move myself out of the way, along the southwest corner. There's a slight chance of some thunderstorm activity a little later on today. For us here in Winnipeg, about 13 degrees as you put the kids on the bus with some decently cloudy skies and lighter winds. On the way home, once we have that rainfall risk behind us, a mix of sun and cloud and temperatures heating up to 23 degrees. We're going to get a hair warmer than that. 24 is our high today. As I mentioned, that low chance of showers along with it. Overnight, those clouds stick around. Winds remain light. Temperatures dipping down to 13. And our skies clear out nicely tomorrow with a high of 25 degrees. Your CTV Morning Live picture of the day, Alan snapped this gorgeous shot of a yellow warbler. I think that's correct, in the English Garden at Assiniboine Park. Thanks for submitting, and keep your weather pictures coming. All right, we're going to take a break, but stay with us. So much more CTV Morning Live still to come.
CTV Morning Live School Day Forecast is brought to you by Rainbow Stage, your season to sing.
Good morning. A 6-year-old's lemonade stand in Ontario is all about heart, hope, and home. Landon Bevan is hoping to turn lemons into a life-changing procedure, one that could help keep someone close to his heart right at home, making memories for years to come.
Under a blazing sun, Landon Bevan is hard at work.
Thanks, boys. Good job.
The 6-year-old, along with his family, serving lemonade Saturday outside their home.
We have little signs set up so that the people know that we have lemonade.
The Bell River resident has been crafting ideas to raise money for a cause near and dear to his heart.
We have like little balloons, like knowing that we have like my grandpa has cancer.
He's pretty smart for a 6-year-old.
Landon's grandfather, Roy Knight, was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in February.
The chemo really takes a toll on somebody. It, out of the 2 weeks, I normally have 4 good days out of the 2 weeks.
After months of chemotherapy, he hopes to undergo nanoknife, a procedure using pulses of electricity to destroy cancer cells that's not offered in Canada.
There are a lot of people who we have met through online support groups, but also from around the world who have done nanoknife. It's added 10 or more years to their life.
The family is hoping to raise about $80,000 for nanoknife surgery in Florida, and with rates of pancreatic cancer on the rise, they feel Canada has more work to do.
There really does need to be more research done on pancreatic cancer treatment guidelines.
For Landon and the rest of Knight's grandchildren, each fundraiser is just hope for another day of memories.
Go fishing.
He goes fishing?
Yeah, and he makes the funniest jokes.
He's pretty funny.
The surgery has been tentatively set for July 24th if they can raise enough.
Hopefully this, nanoknife helps to see the kids grow up.
Robert Lothian, CTV News, Bell River.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop. The Bath Fitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
A little bit cloudy to kick off your Wednesday. 11 degrees out there with some northeasterly winds at 12 clicks. Pressure's rising, the humidity at 94%. Yeah, so we've got a good amount of sunshine on the way to Manitoba. Here in the south, though, we may have to wait a little bit to receive it. Plus, there's a slight instability happening, as evidenced by our radar. These little green specks bring the possibility of some rainfall for us in certain regions. For us, about a 30% chance of showers is what we're looking at. The biggest risk comes this morning and tapers off into early afternoon. Decent high of 24 degrees. 25 is seasonal, so we'll call it a wash. Winds, meantime, staying light throughout the day out of the northeast at 15 kilometers per hour. Overnight tonight, partly cloudy skies, temperatures dipping down to 13 degrees. Winds will be shifting slightly out of the south at 15 kilometers per hour. Into tomorrow, we get even warmer. We start off clear and then a mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon with a high of 25 degrees, and those winds ramping up out of the southeast at 20 kilometers per hour. From there, we've got a little bit of everything on tap for the weekend. 27 on Friday to kick us off under nice clear skies. 26 degrees on Saturday, but it's looking likely for some rainfall. A lower chance of showers on Sunday, but a chance nonetheless with a decent high of 25. And we kick off next work week under the sunshine with a high of 27 degrees and 28 respectively.
Thanks, Catherine. RCMP and Saint-Pierre-Joly are searching for a missing 17-year-old female. Police say they received a report on June 21st that Kaylee Pluman was missing from her home on Provincial Road 403 in the RM of de La Salaberry. Pluman was seen leaving her home at about 1:45 a.m. on the 21st and is believed to be in the Grunthal or Richer area. She's 5 feet 7 inches tall, 140 pounds with blonde hair and blue-green eyes. No clothing description is available. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Kaylee Pluman is asked to call the Saint-Pierre-Joly RCMP at 204-433-7433 or Crime Stoppers. 2 boys are suffering from serious injuries following a collision involving a semi in southern Manitoba. It happened Monday morning on Highway 244 between Rathwell and Notre-Dame-de-Lourdes. RCMP say the 2 were making a left turn across the highway in a utility vehicle when they were struck from behind by a semi which had pulled out to pass. A teenage boy was airlifted to hospital in critical condition, while the other boy was taken to hospital in serious condition. Both have since been upgraded to stable. The driver of the semi was uninjured. St. Andrews Soccer Association says players are being left on the sidelines after being given the boot from its fields. The pitches are located in the middle of the St. Andrews Airport complex. The airport needs the space for an expansion and says it was never meant to be a permanent home for kids soccer. CTV's Jeff Keel explains why finding a new place to play is proving difficult.
Youth soccer teams in St. Andrews are getting kicked off their pitches, and the association says they have no field to land on.
Just kind of mind-blowing.
Since 2009, the St. Andrews Soccer Association has been allowed to host games for kids at this location, in the middle of the local airport. But in March, the airport, which is owned by the RM, said it needs the space to expand and told the association 2026 would be the last season it could use the fields for soccer and their 320 players.
To receive the boot because of politics between the airport and the RM, just not right.
In a statement, the airport says it's the 9th busiest in Canada and needs the expansion for aviation purposes, adding the area is not zoned for recreation and soccer was always a temporary use. The decision was made to delay the development of that area for 2 years to allow ample time for soccer to find a new home. The Soccer Association is calling on St. Andrews Council to help them because it claims the RM failed to move ahead with plans to build public soccer fields.
We need a permanent solution, or at the bare minimum, an extension of our airport lease so that we have certainty going into next season that we're not going off a cliff and community soccer will be dying in St. Andrews.
But Mayor Joyce Soul says there is a solution. A private business is spending more than $4 million on soccer fields nearby, and there is a deal in place for public access once they open.
Council ensured that there is in the lease agreement with them that 20% of the time be allowed for residents of St. Andrews. And we fully support the kids.
The association says that's not enough to meet their demands.
It's also a business. They run programming the same times as us over the same season. You physically cannot have 2 soccer games happening on the same pitches at the same time.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Mayor Joyce Soul also says she doesn't believe the airport is a proper place for the soccer fields as they have had security issues recently. The Soccer Association says the RM could build public fields next to the private ones as there is room to do so. The mayor says that is something council could look at as that site was always meant for soccer and baseball. A Brampton, Ontario man is facing charges after more than $23 million in drugs was seized at the border. The Canada Border Services Agency says it found 187 kilograms of cocaine hidden in a commercial truck entering Canada at the Blue Water Bridge crossing in Sarnia, Ontario. The suspect has been charged with importing cocaine and possession of cocaine for the purpose of trafficking. Canada has flown its first evacuation flight out of the Middle East.
We will continue to be there to support Canadians and to advocate and ensure to the best of our abilities the safety and security of that region as a whole.
Foreign Affairs says there were 95 passengers on board the flight from Jordan to Athens. The plan is today to gather more people who want to leave using buses stationed in Israel, the West Bank, and along Iran's border. There are about 6,000 Canadians registered in Israel and the West Bank, and another 6,000 in Iran. Ottawa says it has helped about 500 people leave the region. Two former Winnipeggers have been named to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Duncan Keith is a 3-time Stanley Cup winner, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, and 2-time Norris Trophy winner as the NHL's top defenseman in a 17-year career. He played for the Chicago Blackhawks between 2005 and 2021 before a 1-year stint with the Oilers. And Jennifer Botterill was a member of 3 gold medal winning Olympic teams and won MVP at the 2011 IIHF Women's World Championships. Congrats to both of them. Here's a look at what's happening at Confusion Corner traffic-wise. Things are moving well. No issues to tell you about at this point. If you see problems, let us know, please. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.40, while the provincial average is lower at $1.32. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.31. The lowest price in the city is $1.24. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
Price of the Pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Winnipeg Firefighters Museum. Lots to take in there, and it's accessible to the public. Good morning.
Rochelle, I don't even know where to look when you say lots to look at, because one side of looking at an apparatus, then we're poking into photos of history dating back to 1904. Ted Kurlick joins us now. He's a past president of the Historical Society. When it comes to the scale of Winnipeg's fire history, what do we have our hands on here, Ted?
Everything. Our history goes back to the days of the volunteer staff. The apparatus was what's behind us was a hose reel, and it just follows through the actual firefighters at that time were the businessmen of the time, and they were the ones who actually responded to the fires that was around the city. Of course, Winnipeg was a lot smaller then. Yeah. However, there was a lot of cold. The weather is the same. The fires are the same. Buildings now are larger, of course, and we have more to deal with. But here we have apparatus that goes right through to well, our newest is 1966 that we have in this building. We have a few others around in storage and that sort of thing. But all our apparatus here was purchased for the citizens of Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm. And of course, it's really neat, especially for the kids, to look at the fire trucks. But when it comes to some of those historical facts, like the firefighters would have lived here, anything else that you think, oh, the public would think that's interesting? Exactly.
It's just what you're saying. Firefighting wasn't as much as a career. It was a lifestyle. You did live here. In the early days prior to 1919, the firefighters got 1 night off a week if you were married, and you had 8 hours off a week if you were single. And that just gave you enough time to maybe visit a bank or have an appointment or whatever. So,
or find a wife.
Or well, you've got to do that in just a few short hours. So.
Hey, I guess whatever you have to do to get that 1 night off. Back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go to the rooftop now with our Catherine Dow. How's it feeling out there right now?
You know, it's lovely, although the sun has risen, of course, but it's like directly in my eyes, and it's going to be shining down on Manitoba today. We'll get a little bit of relief from it this morning with some clouds. There's already a few out here with a current condition rather of 11 degrees. Winds are out of the north-northeast at 12 clicks. The pressure is rising and the humidity sits at 94%. So, as mentioned, likely some clouds to kick us off here in southern areas of the province. Plus some light instability, bringing a 30% chance of some flowers for south central regions, and in southwest Manitoba areas like Brandon and Neepawa, you have a slight chance of some thunderstorms. Temperatures just below seasonal. That's in the kind of mid 20 degree mark. For us in Winnipeg, that's 24. 25 is what's typical. Those winds will remain light. To the north, lots of sunshine. Temperatures a few degrees cooler. I know this region is in desperate need of some rainfall. That is likely coming overnight and into tomorrow. The bad news is, though, is probably probably coming with some thunderstorm and lightning, not what we want to aid that thunderstorm fight. But the good news is rain is coming along with us. For us here in the south, we'll end the work week off with plenty of sunshine and warm temperatures Thursday and Friday. But the weekend brings a bit of a mixed bag. A good chance of some rainfall on Saturday, a slighter chance of it on Sunday. But the good news is we kick off next work week under the sunshine with above seasonal temperatures into the upper 20s. Alrighty, we're going to take a break, but stay with us. So much more.
CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Futures are showing a mixed start to the day. Dow futures are slightly lower, down 19 points. S&P futures are inching up, gaining 2. NASDAQ futures are in the lead, up 38. The Canadian dollar is also seeing a modest uptick this morning. In overseas markets, the Hang Seng is climbing 297 points, while Japan's Nikkei is also making gains, up 151. Good morning at 6:45. A warning now about a sex offender who was released from jail and is considered a high risk to reoffend. The Manitoba Integrated High Risk Sex Offender Unit says Winston George Thomas was released from Headingley Correctional Center Tuesday. He's now on probation and is expected to live in Winnipeg. He has a lengthy criminal record, including sexual assault against a 13-year-old girl, assaulting a police officer with a weapon, and assault by choking. Police say the 48-year-old is a high risk to offend again. If you have information about Thomas, call the Manitoba Integrated High Risk Sex Offender Unit at the number there on your screen. You can also contact Winnipeg Police, your local RCMP detachment, or Crime Stoppers. A Winnipeg man is facing charges after a man was stabbed during an attempted vehicle theft in western Manitoba. RCMP say it happened early in the morning Saturday in the RM of Mountain. The victim heard someone outside and went to investigate. The pair struggled and the victim was stabbed. He was brought to a hospital, treated, and released. Mounties caught up with the suspect in the community of Bell Site after reports someone was trying to steal from vehicles. A 34-year-old Winnipeg man is facing several charges. The family of a murdered Indigenous woman is looking for more support for victims' families navigating the criminal justice system. Family and friends gathered Tuesday at Central Park to remember Ashley Isabella Murdoch. The woman from Fisher River and Jackhead First Nation was killed last year. Her body was found a day before her 29th birthday in an apartment on Kennedy Street. Numerous people are facing charges in the homicide, resulting in many court appearances. For Murdoch's family, it means reliving the trauma every time they go to court. Murdoch's mother is calling for more support.
Apparently there's supports out there, so where are they? That's where I'm asking. Bring help already. Stop this already. Stop the families that are survivors. They're hurting.
The march stopped at the building where Murdoch's body was found. Murdoch's mother says even though her body isn't there anymore, she wanted to honor her daughter's soul. Manitoba's trade office in Washington is officially open. The office is being headed up by Richard Madden, a journalist who spent several years as a White House correspondent for various Canadian news networks, including CTV. Earlier in his career, he was a TV reporter here in Winnipeg. The DC office has a mandate to develop trade relationships with lawmakers, industry leaders, and others to further Manitoba's interests. Thousands of students are graduating high school this week, and for some, it's better late than never. We're celebrating the inspirational grads-to-be from the Winnipeg Adult Education Center. And as CTV's Daniel Halmerson shows you, among them are newcomers and one high school dropout who's risen to the top of her class.
And make us less likely to judge those who walk the path less traveled.
Zoe McKay's rehearsing a speech she never thought she'd write. She's valedictorian for the Winnipeg Adult Education Center's class of 2025. I
think I would have probably laughed if you told me this would happen at some point. I am kind of in disbelief. It's really exciting.
It's a big change for the 28-year-old who dropped out of high school more than a decade ago.
I wasn't able to make that a priority at the time, which was always a huge regret of mine.
McKay is among the 150 or so mature students who will cross this stage Thursday to receive their diploma.
It's important here in Canada also. It opens everything. While you want to go for university, college, or you want to work.
Many of the grads-to-be are new to Canada after fleeing war-torn countries like Eritrea and Ukraine.
I had to upgrade my credits to learn English, to become more fluent in English, and also to finish my
grade 12 courses to be able to enter the university.
The school's principal says adult learners may come from different backgrounds and circumstances.
Talk about complicated lives. So a lot of our students have children. They work full time.
But Dino Di Fabrizio adds these students all share a common goal.
They come in with such great intentions on what they could potentially do, and it's inspirational watching them make this walk and take this journey.
And they have some advice for people who haven't started that journey yet.
After you take the first step, and then the other steps will just continue by themselves. So just take the first step.
Don't be scared of change. Change can give you the ability to transform your circumstances and take agency over your path going forward. Just jump into the great unknown and see what happens.
Daniel Halmerson, CTV News, Winnipeg.
A joyous celebration in Oklahoma City Tuesday where Canadian star Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and his teammates celebrated their NBA title with hundreds of thousands of fans.
In the middle of this, are you seeing the fan interaction with our players?
SGA ran through the streets proudly supporting a Canadian flag. It was a dream season for the Hamilton native, winning the league MVP, the finals MVP, and the NBA championship. Montreal's Lou Dort was also a key contributor to the title. Here's a look now what's happening at Kenison and Sterling Lyon. Things are moving well, starting to pick up over in this part of the city. If you see any issues out there, please let us know.
Taking a look outside on this Wednesday morning, 11 degrees with a bit of some cloud coverage there. Winds are light out of the north-northeast. Pressure's on the rise and the humidity is at 94%. We will get a good amount of sunshine. We're just going to have to wait a little while into our day here in the south. Different story to the north, you can tell. While we have some light instability here, some cloud coverage, it's looking very clear to the north. Temperatures there, very warm, very pleasant. We were hoping to see some rainfall. You are likely going to have to wait until tomorrow morning for that. There we go. Clear skies in Thompson and all across this region, really. 22 degrees in that neck of the woods, 20 in Gillam. Even warmer, if you can believe it, in Churchill at 24 with a mix of sun and cloud. To the west, clear skies once again, very similar temperatures, lighter winds expected today, and again, likely some rainfall tomorrow. We need it for the wildfire fight. The sad news is there's likely some instability, so maybe some lightning and thunderstorm activity, not what we want to see. We just want the rainfall, but it'll likely last off and on for the next couple of days. That's the good news. Speaking of instability, there's a slight chance of some thunderstorm activity this morning and early afternoon in Brandon and Neepawa. Highs of 23 degrees all across the board, but clearer skies expected in Dauphin and Swan River. For us here in Winnipeg, a hair warmer, 24. Slight chance of rainfall in the morning, as mentioned. Those clouds will clear into the late afternoon, bringing us more of a mix of sun and cloud. Northwestern Ontario, also a chance of some rainfall. Temperatures at or just below seasonal for you with those light winds as well. Into tonight, a couple of clouds looming, temperatures dipping down to 13 degrees with some lighter winds. They pick up tomorrow, though, out of the southeast at 30 kilometers per hour with a high of 25 degrees with lots of sunshine. It gets even warmer on Friday with a high of 27.
Thanks, Catherine. Canada's first homegrown zero-emission vehicle was on display Wednesday, and many are hoping it will help rev up the auto industry. CTV's Sean Leathong now on the road ahead.
Rolling into the era of a Canadian car company, this zero-emissions EV prototype is called Project Aero, and 97% of the materials used to build it come from Canada.
At a time when everybody was looking to make major investments in EVs, we wanted to make a statement that Canada can do the whole thing for you.
The vehicle was first revealed at the 2023 Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, a joint venture between the Auto Parts Manufacturers Association along with Ontario Tech University, with engineering students helping assemble the vehicle.
We have everything it takes, so this is physical proof that we can do it. So we're trying to gain the exposure and show people that this is the proof, this is the drivable business card.
The car has been around the world driving business to Canada. According to the APMA, the $20 million price tag to develop Project Aero has resulted in $500 million in investment in Canada's auto industry. Now they're moving to Project Aero 2.0, creating a fleet of electric vehicles.
We're in a moment now where we're talking about building a resilient Canadian economy while it's under attack by the guy in the White House. And the Prime Minister's challenged everybody to be ambitious. Well, there's nothing more ambitious than launching a Canadian car company.
Federal Economic Development Minister for Southern Ontario, Evan Solomon, got a chance to see the car for himself.
This is about showcasing the capabilities of an industry that is a world-leading industry, contributes to our economy, contributes to the entire value chain of the automotive manufacturing.
For Project Arrow 2.0, they'll build 2 vehicles a year for the next 3 years, with the hope of showing investors and government that Canada can have its own car company.
In Canada, I think that what we want to say thoughtfully and responsibly is let's bring the best minds in Canada together to see if this is something we should and could do.
As for when this vehicle could actually be in production, Flavio Volpe says if the right people are in place, it'll take about 5 years. Sean Lee Thong, CTV News.
An Ontario family is sharing the story of their son's birth and the big surprise that came with it. When he arrived, little Grayson weighed in at a whopping 15 pounds. Even the hospital was caught off guard. CTV's Luke Simard has that story.
Messed it up.
Meet Grayson, a soon-to-be 1-year-old baby. When Grayson was born, he weighed a staggering 15 pounds and 10 ounces, a weight not seen before at Orillia Soldiers Memorial Hospital, making a case for the largest baby ever born in Ontario.
He was 24.5 inches long, and his head was 42.5 centimeters, I believe.
Correct.
I did have a planned C-section for that day, so we left here bright and early, I believe 4 o'clock in the morning, I think it was.
With a baby born of that size, there came challenges, especially after birth.
He was wearing a size 3 diaper, which isn't very common for a newborn baby, but the hospital was very good with, getting their hands on the resources that we needed.
When Orillia Soldiers Memorial Hospital went to register Grayson's weight, they ran into a unique situation.
When Grayson was born, the team went to enter his weight into the Ontario registry, and we were surprised to find out that his weight exceeded the upper limit. We had to actually call the Ontario registry, and they had to manually update it on their end, which was a first for us.
Grayson would wear clothing for a 6-month-old baby right after birth, but his growth has now slowed down, looking and acting as an 11-month-old baby should. The family sharing their story in hopes of encouraging families to trust the process of your pregnancy if having a larger baby.
There were challenges and obstacles with Grayson at the beginning, and lots of unknowns, even from, healthcare professionals and everything, but we got through it all, and I mean, he's thriving. He's doing amazing.
According to Born Ontario, Grayson's birth weight of 15 pounds and 10 ounces would put him in the top 0.01 percentile of weight when it comes to babies being born. Grayson, a happy and healthy baby, will be turning 1 on July 4th. Luke Simard, CTV News, Orillia.
All right, we're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this with your 7 o'clock headlines. Good morning. It is 7 o'clock on Wednesday, June 25th. You're watching CTV Morning Live. Thank you so much for being with us. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to introduce you to a local artist who's decided to transform his home into his exhibit space. So we're going to find out a little bit more on this artist, why he's using his home, and who he's catering to, and when the big sale is coming up. But first, your headlines. Wildfire threat eases as evacuees head home. What's reopening across Manitoba, and what's still off limits? Plus, road work sparks backlash on St. Anne's Road, why residents and businesses say construction's gone too far. And want to score Grey Cup swag? Join the hype and be a part of the crew making Canada's biggest football party happen. Bringing in Catherine down now. It is a day to get outside and enjoy the sunshine.
Absolutely, yes. You might have to wait a little while in Winnipeg, but that's not a bad thing. Spending all day baking in the heat isn't great. So you'll start off with some cloud coverage as evidenced by our live eye. 11 degrees with those north-northeast winds. They're going to be staying light throughout the day, ramping up into tomorrow, though. Spoiler alert. Barometric pressure's on the rise and the humidity sits at 94%. Slight instability to start off our day. You can see some smatterings, some little speckles there. That's bringing a 30% chance of showers for us and a 30% chance of some thunderstorm activity to Westman. Meantime, our futurecast shows us the way the rest of the province will be dealing with the weather today. Staying relatively clear throughout the day until in northern Manitoba until a little bit of cloud coverage coverage moves in late afternoon. We too have that little bit of cloud coverage that will start to break up a little later on in the day. A couple clouds remaining. And then here, this is what we're keeping an eye on. Some much needed rainfall to northern Manitoba, likely arriving tomorrow. And the system, as it spreads out, spends off and on into Thursday and likely Friday. That's a slight chance of some rainfall too in that very southeast corner. The bad news, however, with this I want to mention is there is some instability associated with it. Thunderstorm lightning, not what we want during that wildfire fight that is very much still ongoing. While we here in Winnipeg will deal with a sunny day on Thursday and a sunny day on Friday. Look at us clear out nicely. In terms of today, we're getting up to a high of 24 degrees. 25 is what's seasonal. And what a coincidence, that's our high tomorrow. Lots of sunshine and in the even warmer on Friday to end out the work week, a high of 27. And then on Saturday, likelihood of some rain with a high of 26. Your weather art of the day. This one, I took a photo, drew a lovely photo of a whale enjoying the rainfall. Thank you to Cash for that lovely blue drawing. And if you have any photos of your kids' weather-themed drawings and sketches, we'd love to see them. Send them to the email on your screen along with their name and age. And we're going to feature one artwork every day here on CTV Morning Live at 7 a.m.
Thanks, Catherine. More cottage areas and campgrounds are reopening as the province says the wildfire danger has dropped across much of the province. As of this morning at 9 a.m., residents and cottage owners will be allowed to return to Schist Lake, Big Island Lake, and Little Athapaskau. Baker's Narrows Provincial Park will reopen at the same time for residents, cottagers, and commercial operators. However, overnight and seasonal camping will remain closed until at least July 17th. In Nopaming Provincial Park, the Bird Lake Campground will stay closed until at least July 10th. The province says Tulabi Falls needs a considerable amount of cleanup and won't reopen until early August. Black Lake, Beresford Lake, and Shoe Lake will not reopen at all this season. And officials say anyone who was planning backcountry trips in Nopaming this summer should change their plans. There are currently 18 active wildfires in Manitoba, 7 fewer than on Monday. Thousands of residents from Flin Flon are set to return home today after a menacing wildfire forced them to flee nearly a month ago. The out-of-control wildfire is still burning near the northern Manitoba city, but officials say crews have been able to contain it outside the community's boundaries. Officials say disaster and recovery assistance, as well as perishable and non-perishable items from a food bank, will be available on site as people return home. About 5,000 Flin Flon residents, as well as roughly 1,000 from the city surrounding area, were displaced across Manitoba due to wildfires. Road construction projects, both large and small, have shifted into high gear at dozens of locations around Winnipeg. And one project in particular is drawing the ire of local businesses and residents. A major revamp of St. Anne's Road. CTV's John Hendricks explains why this route is a sore spot.
There's a lot of activity going on in the kitchen at the Van Cy restaurant, but it's the exact opposite in their dining room.
A lot of our customers are a lot of older generations, and they have a harder time finding parking.
Harder because of a massive pavement renewal project on St. Anne's Road scheduled to last for 20 weeks. The work has reduced traffic to one lane on both sides of the street. That's taken away all the parking in front of the restaurant and other area businesses.
Pretty much daily, at least half of our clients and our practitioners and staff have to call in and say, I will be quite a bit late.
Everybody's struggling, and the construction is not helping at all.
Mandy Pepe, the executive director of the Old St. Vital Biz, says while businesses agree the roads need to be repaired, many question the city's approach to it. Could they not do one section at a time? And if not,
a lot of businesses are asking for some type of, something from the city, maybe, a break on their taxes or something.
In a statement to CTV News, a spokesperson for the city writes, "We do not provide compensation to businesses affected by construction. In 2023, we conducted a survey of major Canadian cities to investigate their practices regarding potential compensation related to business loss during road construction. None of the cities had a universal compensation program." But even if help isn't coming from the city, some Winnipeggers are coming to the aid of Van Cy Restaurant. A social media post about the construction-related problems has led to an increase in takeout orders.
It was almost like the pandemic all over again. We survived that, now I'm sure we can survive this. So
John Hendricks, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The city says they're very willing to troubleshoot what help businesses may need if there are issues that were not anticipated or they underestimated the impact of. The total budget for the work on St. Anne's is $5.8 million. And barring any weather-related delays, this construction is scheduled to end this fall. Leaked reports are raising questions about the effectiveness of U.S. strikes on Iran's nuclear sites.
He sent B-2 bombers and dropped 12 30,000-pound bombs on the worst facility and destroyed that program.
The White House claims the strikes destroyed Iran's nuclear program, with U.S. President Donald Trump saying this morning that it's been put back by decades. But reports citing an early assessment from the Pentagon say the strikes likely only set the program back for a few months tops. The assessment also suggests Iran moved its enriched uranium out of its sites before the strikes, and facilities sitting deep underground are still intact. Israel this morning backed the White House, saying Iran's nuclear program has been set back for years. Winnipeg is hosting the 2025 Grey Cup Festival and game this November. But to make sure it all runs smoothly, the team is looking for some help. The Grey Cup Festival needs 1,000 to 2,000 volunteers to support the range of outdoor and indoor events being planned. Shifts will be available from November 9th through the 17th. Volunteers provide transportation support, public services, game day assistance, and more. Each volunteer will receive an exclusive jacket, a t-shirt, toque, and snacks, as well as an invitation to the wind-up celebration. You can complete the volunteer application on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers website. There is a $100 plus GST fee to apply. It's being called a new icon on Toronto's skyline. A banner unfurled Tuesday on what will be Canada's first super tall building. The designation became official when construction at 1 Bloor West surpassed the 300-meter mark in height. Once complete at 85 stories, it will be the tallest residential building in the country. Here's a look now what's happening in traffic on the Norwood Bridge. Things are moving well over here. No issues to tell you about at this point. If you see problems out there, though, please let us know.
Canada's benchmark stock index, the S&P TSX Composite, pushed further into record high territory yesterday, closing at 26,718 points. It's now up 8% so far this year. U.S. stocks also rose sharply yesterday, and stock market futures contracts were mainly higher this morning. Investors now see only a slim chance the Bank of Canada will cut its benchmark interest rate the next time it makes a rate announcement on July the 30th. Yesterday, new inflation figures showed core inflation in Canada running at 3.0% in May. That's likely too high, some economists said, for the bank to cut the rate next month without fanning inflationary pressures. Shares of FedEx, meanwhile, were down about 5% in pre-market trading this morning. The company's profit forecast for the current quarter missed analyst expectations. Citing a weak global market for package shipping, a senior company executive said, quote, "We just simply cannot predict how that is going to play out." From the BNN Bloomberg newsroom in Toronto, I'm Paul Bagnall.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who is live at the Winnipeg Firefighters Museum. Are you inside an apparatus right now?
The 1966 Mack truck, Rochelle, and they told me that they don't usually let people sit inside the vehicles, but I'm special. We're going to be chatting with Martin coming up at 7:27. And when he introduced himself, he said, well, I'm kind of hard of hearing because of this truck. And I said, why, Martin? He said, because when you're sitting in the jumper seats like this, it is so close in proximity to the siren up top. He said at one point, he even tried to put foam here, but unfortunately, it didn't work. We're going to be learning about the apparatuses. This, too, is an interesting feature. Unfortunately, 2 firefighters, before they put this in place, actually fell out of the truck here in Winnipeg. A historical building. We're going to be learning about the evolution of grass fires here and how they were combated. And we're going to head to the second floor, too. So stay with us. It's a fun morning.
All right. I agree. You're pretty special, Ainsley. Thank you for this. Let's go onto the rooftop now. It's a beautiful sunny day. Catherine, how's it feeling out there?
Oh, I'm glad I wore my sunscreen. Yes, the sunshine is up. It's beating down on us here in downtown Winnipeg. But we are going to be getting some some clouds a little later on. I'll have details in a moment. But right now it's 12 degrees. Those winds have even lost a little bit more steam from the last hour. They're currently out of the northeast at 10 clicks. They're going to be light all throughout the day. The barometric pressure is rising. The humidity sits at 93%. So as mentioned, likely a bit of cloud coverage in southern Manitoba to kick off the day, and a chance of some rainfall for us here in Winnipeg and surrounding regions, and maybe some thunderstorm activity in West Man in areas like Brandon and Nipawin. That risk only lasts into the early afternoon, with that cloud coverage starting to taper off into the late afternoon, leaving behind, excuse me, mostly sunny skies. Temperatures peaking in the mid-20s for us here in Winnipeg, 24 degrees. To the north, much the same, a couple degrees cooler with your highs. Light winds, but very clear skies. That's the main difference. Rain is on the way. It'll start to push into areas in the northwest tomorrow, and that system starting to blanket all of northern Manitoba overnight. The bad news is in areas like Lynn Lake, there's some instability associated with that system. Not what we need with that wildfire fight, but the rainfall is much needed and is likely to last on and on for the next couple of days. For us here in the south, sunshine to end the work week, but we too have a chance of rain into the weekend.
CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
Let's check in now on our question of the day. We want to know, what advice would you give your teenage self? Our question of the day has moved from Twitter, so now we want you to text your answer along with your name to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. At CTV Morning Live, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, whether they're furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions have been amazing. We want to see even more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday between 6 and 9 to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on CTV Morning Live. We're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this. Good morning. It is 7:16. The Manitoba government is moving closer to changing a highway intersection where a bus crash killed 17 people. The province is holding another open house tonight in Carberry, not far from where a minibus carrying 24 seniors was struck by a semi-trailer in 2023 while trying to cross the Trans-Canada Highway. No charges were laid in the bus crash because investigators found the bus driver's actions that day weren't criminal. During the open house, the province plans to table some options for the intersection, including widening the median and turning the intersection into a roundabout. NATO leaders are meeting in The Hague at this hour for what could end up being a historic summit.
There are very big things to announce today. I don't know if you've taken the vote or you're going to take the vote, but I've been asking them to go up to 5% for a number of years, and they're going up to 5%. That's a big, from 2%. And a lot of people didn't even pay the 2%.
New defense spending pledges are expected to be the focus of today's meetings. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte is proposing members more than double their current defense spending target from 2% of GDP to 5%. The proposal would include hiking spending to 3.5% of annual GDP on core defense needs like jets and other weapons. Another 1.5% would focus on infrastructure like roads, cybersecurity, and industry. Canada and European allies also want Ukraine to be a focus today. Trump will also be meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
How much is it actually for you?
5% of our GDP would be about $150 billion.
I mean, that's a lot.
It's a lot of numbers.
Per year?
Per year.
Prime Minister Mark Carney speaking with CNN's Christine Amanpour Tuesday about the proposed new spending target. NATO says Canada spent $41 billion on defense last year. Some allies have proposed 2029 as the deadline for reaching the new spending target. Canada has just pledged to finally meet the current 2% target this year. The Prime Minister says Canada will reach the likely new target in part by developing its critical minerals and the infrastructure needed to get them to market. Canada does have some of the world's largest deposits of critical minerals. Two giants from the world of computers have met for the first time. That's Bill Gates And Linux creator Linus Torvalds taking a picture after dinner. While Microsoft dominated computers with Windows, Linux was the plucky open source upstart. There's no beef between the two companies, though. They declared a truce years ago. Here's what's happening on Kenaston Boulevard. Things are moving well here, starting to pick up in this region. No issues to tell you about. If you see any traffic updates or if you want to give us updates, let us know, please.
CTV Morning Live Traffic brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
In entertainment, Winnipeg's Fringe Theatre Festival is right around the corner, and fans can now buy tickets. The Winnipeg Fringe Festival will take over Old Market Square with street performers, food trucks, and live bands July 16th to the 27th. It's the second largest Fringe Festival in North America. Close to 150 performing companies from around the world will take the stage at 26 venues. Tickets are now on sale at winnipegfringe.com or in person at the Royal Manitoba Theatre Centre on Market Avenue. Almost 80,000 tickets are sold every year. 100% of the ticket price goes back to the performers. New music is on the way from Maroon 5.
You're a deep cut, you're a burn, but I like the way that it hurts.
That's their latest single, All Night. It's off their upcoming album, Love Is Like, set for release August 15th. They're also launching a U.S. arena tour, which kicks off in October. So far, no Canadian dates have been announced. The music charts are starting to sound extraordinary.
Take one look at you, you're taking me out of the ordinary. I want you laying me down to the dead and buried.
Alex Warren's song Ordinary is sitting at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for a third time. The song is back on top after Sabrina Carpenter's Man-Child bumped it briefly last week. This is Warren's first Hot 100 leader. Your primetime lineup starts at 7 with MasterChef, followed by Gordon Ramsay's Secret Service. Then Battle of the Generations wraps up the night at 9, only on CTV.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Casting our eye to the sky on this Wednesday morning, it's starting to clear out a little bit out there. 12 degrees with some light northeasterly winds. Pressure is rising this hour and the humidity is at 93%. Could be in store for a little bit more cloud coverage, maybe a bit of rainfall as well, and some decent temperatures. We're already starting off on a pleasant note. 11 degrees in Brandon, 8 in Roblin, 6 in Dauphin, over in Pinawa, 12 degrees. Let's move over to Pinawa, and Morden Winkler, 14 degrees this hour. To the north, temperatures are very similar to what we're seeing here. You will be dealing with a good amount of sunshine today in northern Manitoba, as evidenced by our radar. While we're under the clouds with these kind of blips here, that is some instability. That's bringing the possibility of maybe some thunderstorms, a very light chance of that in the southwest this morning and early afternoon, and maybe some rainfall for us in south central portions. Certainly when you put the kids on the bus, it'll be partly cloudy with decent temperatures at 13 degrees with those lighter northeasterly winds. Heating up though on the way home and clearing out, a mix of sun and cloud and a high, it'll be 23 degrees. Our high though, getting ahead of myself, 24 degrees is what we're looking at, so just a titch warmer than that. 25 is what's typical. The winds will remain light. That low chance of showers tapers off into the early afternoon. Overnight winds don't budge too much, still relatively light with an overnight low of 13 and a few clouds, but they pick up tomorrow. Southeasterly gusts at 30 kilometers per hour with a high of 25 under clear skies. They stay clear into Friday and get even warmer with that temperature, 27 degrees, before we get some rainfall likely on Saturday. Your CTV Morning Live picture of the day, a yellow warbler, Alan tells me, is who he captured on camera in the English Garden in Assiniboine Park. Thank you to Alan for submitting, and keep your weather pictures coming, won't you, bird or otherwise, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
CTV Morning Live School Day Forecast is brought to you by Rainbow Stage, your season to sing.
More signs of how the Canada-U.S. trade war is having an impact on travel patterns. CTV's Sarah Plowman on the numbers and how one destination south of the border is trying to get Canadians back.
Look around Canada and there's plenty to show off. But new data shows we've had fewer tourists, including Americans. April saw a nearly 9% drop in U.S. visitors compared to last year. stateside, it's worse. The number of Canadians returning from the U.S. dropped by 29% year over year as Canadians lean into more overseas travel.
International travel is rerouted, if I may say, in some other direction, away from the United States.
Maine has seen fewer Canadian visitors. Its governor promoted her state in New Brunswick and heard Canadians' travel concerns, like David Dennis, who goes to Maine each year, but this year his wife, who's originally from Venezuela, didn't want to.
Her fellow countrymen had been targeted for deportation, and her comments were, "I'm not going to the States this year."
Governor Janet Mills insists her state is safe to visit.
Enjoy our ski slopes, our trails, our villages, our beaches. You can do that safely.
But even before the governor heard from the audience, New Brunswick's premier weighed in.
Lots of people don't feel safe in the U.S. right now, and for good reason. And so until that changes, I think the climate for visitors will continue to be difficult.
Despite a drop in travel between Canada and the U.S., Americans and Canadians still make up the bulk of international travelers for both countries. This tourism operator in Halifax has seen an uptick in bookings from Americans arriving by cruise, plus a spike in interest from Canadians.
Canadians are traveling within Canada like we've never seen before. It's really, really impressive.
Canada has also seen fewer overseas visitors, largely from Asia, while getting a bump in interest from Europe. One expert points out how just like we expect to see more Canadians travel within this country, the same might be true for other countries. Sarah Plowman, CTV News, Fredericton.
Coming up, we're going to learn more about some of the history of the apparatus used by the City of Winnipeg firefighters. Stay with us. Good morning. Ainsley McPhail is live at the Winnipeg Firefighters Museum. A lot to take in there, and some of the equipment and apparatus takes us back a long time in history. Good morning.
A long time in history, but not that long. I'm standing with Martin Johnson, and I only say that because he's part of that history, actually having rode and worked on the truck that stands behind us. So tell us about your past career and your experience on the apparatus behind us.
Well, I started in 1962 with the Winnipeg Fire Department, and I served in different parts of the city. And one of the areas that I served in, well, I served mostly in the North End. So it was an exciting time there because we had a lot of fires in that area at that time as well.
And this truck specifically, you mentioned that you're hard of hearing now because of how close in proximity you were to the sound.
Well, this was the first engine that had jump seats on it. Before this, the firefighters would stand on the back tailgate, hang on to a leather strap to a bar, and that would keep them supposedly safe, unless you know, so that you wouldn't fly off when the driver took a quick turn. Wow. Okay, so these jump seats were designed to protect you from that and a little bit from the weather. But one of the things that happened with it was they have a siren mounted on the roof. On a nice tin roof was just like a drum surface, and that resonated quite loudly in that jump seat. And so after riding in there in many years, my hearing got affected, as I'm sure any other fellow who rode in there.
No doubt. Looking back now, and as you reflect, are there any stories in particular, one quick one that stands out?
Well, with this particular engine, it started in number 1 fire hall, and it moved around as the years went by. And it was stationed here, and it got a call down Higgins Avenue. There was a fellow riding on the jump seat here. As the pump went around the corner, he fell out and got hit by an oncoming vehicle, and he was killed. So that was a bit of a tragedy. So that's when the chains came a part of there to try and protect you from falling out. But unfortunately, when this rig was put in Transcona many years later, one of the other fellows that I worked with fell out under the chain. He was a little shorter. So he went down under but he survived. Yes.
Okay, well, a happy ending to that story.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Martin. We've got more at 7:42.
Thank you, Ainsley. And if you want to go outside, today's a good day to do so. I need to water my flowers. Will I get a little bit of rain to help me, though?
There's a slight chance of it, Rochelle, but I would fill up that, why can't I think of it? Your bucket? What's wrong with me? Your brain is not firing on all cylinders with this amount of sleep. 12 degrees currently. It is starting to get a little bit overcast out there. The winds are out of the northeast. The pressure is rising. The humidity sits at 93%. Watering can. There's the word we're looking for. Yeah, as you can see, the clouds start to encroach there. They're moving out of the over the international border. I will wake up soon, folks. Along with it, though, you're seeing some smatterings there, some instability. As I mentioned, a slight chance of some rainfall for us here in Winnipeg, maybe some thunderstorm activity to the west of us, but a decent high. 24 degrees is what we're looking at. 25 is what's typical. We'll call it even. Winds, meantime, out of the northeast at 15 kilometers per hour. Overnight, a few clouds sticking around. Temperatures dipping to 13. Those winds staying relatively light out of the south, but they ramp up tomorrow out of the southeast at 20 kilometers per hour. We'll start with clear skies and a mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon, a high of 25 degrees. We close off the work week with lots of sunshine and a very warm high of 27 degrees, but we get a bit of a spoiler on Saturday in the form of some rainfall. 26 with a 60% chance of showers. Sunday, about a 30% shot of getting some more rainfall. Decent highs at 25 degrees. But look at next week, looking picture perfect and very hot. 27 on Monday under clear skies. Ditto for Tuesday, but we're going to get a little bit warmer with a high of 28 degrees.
Thank you, Catherine. Firefighters in northwestern Ontario have a massive wildfire under control. Ontario Forest Fires posted on social media that a fire named Kenora 20, which started near Ingulf, west of Kenora, is now under control. The fire started May 12th and burned through thousands of hectares of forest, prompting evacuation warnings in eastern Manitoba. The Post says the fire is now contained with the help of some recent rainfall and also thanks to hundreds of personnel who helped bring the fire under control. RCMP in Saint-Pierre-Joly are searching for a missing 17-year-old female. Police say they received a report on June 21st that Kaylee Pluman was missing from her home on Provincial Road 403 in the RM of de la Salaberry. Pluman was seen leaving her home at about 1:45 a.m. on the 21st and is believed to be in the Grunthal or Richer area. She's 5 feet 7 inches tall, 140 pounds, with blonde hair and blue-green eyes. No clothing description is available. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Kaylee Pluman is asked to call the Saint-Pierre-Joly RCMP at 204-433-7433 or Crime Stoppers. St. Andrew's Soccer Association says players are being left on the sidelines after being given the boot from its fields. The pitches are located in the middle of the St. Andrew's Airport complex. But the airport needs the space for an expansion and says it was never meant to be a permanent home for kids soccer.
To receive the boot because of politics between the airport and the RM, just not right.
In March, the airport told the association 2026 would be the last season it could use the fields for soccer and their 320 players. In a statement, the airport says it's the 9th busiest in Canada and needs the expansion for aviation purposes, adding the area is not zoned for recreation and soccer was always a temporary use. The Soccer Association is calling on St. Andrew's Council to help them because it claims the RM failed to move ahead with plans to build public soccer fields.
Council ensured that there is in the lease agreement with them that 20% of the time be allowed for residents of St. Andrews. And we fully support the kids.
The Soccer Association says the RM could build public fields next to the private ones as there is room to do so. The mayor says that is something council could look at as that site was always meant for soccer and baseball. The province is launching a new program it says will help Manitobans save money on their energy bills.
Ground source heat pumps are among the most efficient way to heat and cool our homes.
The Affordable Home Energy Program offers options, including ones with no upfront costs to cover the installation of heat pumps for eligible homeowners. Efficiency Manitoba says this could save people between $300 and $1,000 a year on their energy bill.
The bill will go down
because of the geothermal technology, is a more efficient source, and that monthly payment will be less than what those savings are.
Efficiency Manitoba says it will provide a net savings for homeowners. The program is expected to cost around $10 million a year. There are around 40 certified installers in the province currently. Contact Efficiency Manitoba for more information. Some frightening moments for a truck driver in China. This is footage showing a tractor trailer hanging over the side of a collapsed bridge in southern China. The person filming can be heard telling the driver, who was still in the cab, to wait for rescue crews. Officials say the bridge collapsed because of a landslide caused by heavy rain. It's monsoon season right now in East Asia. The 45th anniversary of the Marathon of Hope is also being marked with a reissue of Terry Fox's shoe. Adidas will be re-releasing the Orion, the running shoe Fox wore as he ran the Marathon of Hope. It's essentially the same design, except this version has the name Terry Fox on the shoe, as well as special laces. Adidas also released the Orion 5 years ago on the 40th anniversary of the Marathon of Hope. Here's a look now what's happening on McPhillip Street. Things are moving well over here. No issues to tell you about. If you do see problems, let us know, please. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.40. The provincial average is lower at $1.32. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.31. The lowest price in Winnipeg is $1.24. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by KidneyCard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
Right now we're sitting at 12 degrees under mainly sunny skies. Your news, weather, and traffic is back after the break.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Sunshine is sort of peeking its head out from under those clouds. 12 degrees with that wind, I almost said wind chill. Winds are out of the northeast. The pressure is rising and the humidity sits at 93%. I think I just gave some folks a heart attack by saying wind chill in June. Already, we've got some cloud coverage as evidenced by our live eye there. That's starting to accumulate, pushing over the international border, bringing with it the slight chance of some instability. That's for us here in the south. To the north, a different story. Sunshine, warm temperatures, a high of 22 in Thompson, 20 in Gillam, 24 in Churchill, with more of a mix of sun and cloud in that region. To the northwest, I know we want to be seeing some rain here. You're likely going to get it into tomorrow and overnight, and likely lasting a couple of days, but we got to get through today first under the sunshine. 20 in Opaskwayak Cree Nation in the Pas, 22 in Flin Flon. Same goes for Lynn Lake with a little bit more cloud coverage. Meanwhile, I mentioned that instability, a slight chance of some thunderstorms in the southwest, about a 30% shot. Likely it'll be slightly overcast to start off and sunnier into the late afternoon. Highs across the board there of 23 degrees with clearer skies and losing that threat of thunderstorm activity in Swan River and Dauphin. For us here, that slight chance of rainfall as well. We're going to be overcast to start. Those clouds should break up into the afternoon, leaving behind a mix of sun and cloud. Lighter southeasterly winds. Temperatures here peaking in the mid-20s. For us in Winnipeg, 25 is seasonal. We're getting up to 24. There's also a slight chance of some rainfall through northwestern Ontario. Likely, though, a mix of sun and cloud for you. Highs across the board here at 23 degrees paired with those light winds. Overnight tonight in Winnipeg, temperatures dipping down to 13 degrees under partly cloudy skies with winds remaining light. They do ramp up into tomorrow out of the southeast at 20 clicks with a high of 25 degrees.
Thanks, Catherine. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Winnipeg Firefighters Museum. They're always looking for new helping hands at the museum. Good morning, Ainsley.
Well, those hands might be little hands, Rochelle. If they come on a Sunday, they can actually feel and touch the apparatus. It's a pretty cool spot to be. Ted Kurlick joins us once again to explain. How great is this museum for future generations?
Well, interestingly enough, we do get a number of school-age kids through on tours and stuff throughout the year, and they really like it, and they certainly ask a lot of questions as to what firefighting was like and how much different it is now. Of course, it's much different now because there's fire schools and colleges that you have to get your certificates, your fire qualifications before you can get hired. And of course, there's the medical component where PCPs are required on the apparatus and stuff. So that's all part and parcel of protecting the citizens of Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm. When you talk about that evolution, the group of people who puts it together here are retired firefighters. Surprise, surprise. However, there's some current firefighters as well. So let's talk about the importance of that generation stepping up to preserve the history.
Yes, we do try and bring new blood, so to speak, into the museum, and it's difficult, but we are doing it. We do have some new people here working on Sundays as well, and it's good for us. It's good for them, and everybody enjoys it. And it's a fun place. We like to enjoy ourselves here.
And if anyone is curious, when can they come? Any last plug? What should they see? Real quick.
What should they see? All our apparatus, all our pictures. We've got fires, pictures of fires going back years and years and years. Just some modern ones too. So maybe it's even pictures of fires that they remember.
And Sunday
10 to 2 every Sunday. We're staffed.
Awesome.
All volunteer staff.
Okay, thank you so much. There's actually 2 floors to Winnipeg's Firefighter Museum. Coming up in the next couple of segments, we're going to go upstairs and show you more there. We're also going to be learning about the grass fires and the evolution of that throughout Winnipeg's fire history. Stay with us.
Thank you, Ainsley. A warning now about a sex offender who was released from jail and is considered to be a high risk to reoffend. The Manitoba Integrated High-Risk Sex Offender Unit says Winston George Thomas was released from Headingley Correctional Center Tuesday. He's now on probation and is expected to live in Winnipeg. He has a lengthy criminal record, including a sexual assault against a 13-year-old girl, assaulting a police officer with a weapon, and assault by choking. Police say the 48-year-old is a high risk to offend again. If you have information about Thomas, call the Manitoba Integrated High Risk Sex Offender Unit at the number there on your screen. You can also contact Winnipeg Police, your local RCMP detachment, or Crime Stoppers. 2 boys are recovering from serious injuries following a collision involving a semi in southern Manitoba. It happened Monday morning on Highway 244 between Rathwell and Notre-Dame-de-Lourdes. RCMP say the 2 were making a left turn across the highway in a utility vehicle when they were struck from behind by a semi which had pulled out to pass. A teenage boy was airlifted to hospital in critical condition, while the other boy was taken to hospital in serious condition. Both have since been upgraded to stable. The driver of the semi was uninjured. The mother of an Ottawa boy is sharing the story of their Algonquin Park rescue after a severe storm Saturday.
Got him out from under the tree and just started assessing him right away. So he was very briefly unconscious, but he, woke up and started making jokes. And I thought, okay, step 1, we are all right at this point.
Allison Flynn and her 13-year-old son were camping on an island when the storm rolled in. It eventually knocked a tree down, which fell on their tent and left her son with severe injuries. She called for help using a GPS device, and emergency responders made the hours-long 25-kilometer journey in to find them. They needed to use chainsaws to cut their way through fallen trees before canoeing to them. Flynn says being prepared with essentials like a headlamp and first aid kit were essential. She also credited her wilderness first aid training. Her son was airlifted to hospital in Ottawa, and he's now recovering.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment. And we're heading to Cleveland for this one. It is the Jays and Guardians. Jonathan Rodriguez grounds one up the middle, but Andres Jimenez lays out completely, makes the snag before firing a strike to first to get Rodriguez. Incredible play right there from the Jays second baseman, and that right there definitely worthy of your must-see moment from Tuesday. Meanwhile, tonight on TSN, we've got the NBA draft for you. The Dallas Mavericks on the clock. You can watch it all beginning at 7 p.m. Central Time. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a terrific day.
TSN Must See Moments brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, your Hunter Douglas shade provider for over 40 years. CTV Morning Live Weather is brought to you by Destination Dinner Stage, Manitoba's only musical dinner theater.
It is sunny staying clear, and honestly, this even light jacket is overkill. It's 12 degrees currently. Those winds are out of the northeast at 10 kilometers per hour. Pressure on the rise, humidity at 93%. So likely our skies here in southern Manitoba are going to cloud over a little bit this morning, and that'll likely linger into the early afternoon. Along with it, a chance of some rainfall. Very slight, but a chance nonetheless. So for much of south central Manitoba, we could be getting precipitation, and then for areas to the west of us, maybe a little bit of instability, a slight chance of thunderstorm activity. Highs decent, just slightly below seasonal. It's looking like 24 in Winnipeg, and much of the south has similar values to look forward to. To the north, maybe a few degrees cooler with your highs. However, clearer skies and not that threat of rainfall. Unfortunately, because we know with this treacherous wildfire season, the north especially needs the rain. The good news is you're likely to get some tomorrow, and it's likely to last off and on through the next couple of days. It'll start in the northwest and start to push through to the east. So a good chance of getting a sprinkle of some of that rainfall. The bad news is slight chance of some instability. Not what we want this wildfire season.
Thank you, Catherine. Summer's here, and as you plan to make the most of the season, it's important to watch out for scams that could derail your fun. From fake vacation rentals to online ticket fraud, CTV's Ryan McDonald has timely tips to help you avoid getting burnt.
Whether it's some fun in the sun, a road trip, or a flight somewhere, many of us have plans for a summer getaway and book those plans online.
You know, pretty normal process through StubHub International, which I figured would be all right.
Luke Wells bought tickets to a professional soccer match during a trip to England not too long ago, but was surprised and disappointed when he was denied entry at the door because the tickets had already been scanned.
Especially with StubHub too, you know, I used them for buying and selling tickets for years. And I was told at the gate when I was being denied that they see it a fair bit.
Or if you're looking for a cottage rental, you know, is it real? Is it fake?
Tony Anscombe is a cybersecurity expert based in Calgary. He says one significant red flag to watch out for is if the seller is asking for the payment urgently.
Look out for that urgency, and they'll look for a payment through a non-normal way, i.e. not a credit card payment or such like. They'll look for gift cards or cryptocurrency transfers.
Anscombe says from flight tickets to concert tickets, it's safest to buy directly from the airline or the venue when possible. As for other signs that what looks like a dream getaway might be too good to be true,
there are lots of other red flags that you should look for in payment method and the urgency and the fact that they've got something nobody else apparently has access to.
A couple of years ago, we were running a social media contest, and we had a fake account that was set up.
The head of Destination Cape Breton says though he hasn't heard of too many people visiting the island and falling victim to scams, in the case of their social media contest, they got another reminder that things online sometimes aren't what they seem.
We reported it through Facebook, and unfortunately, their customer service bot or whatever didn't accept our complaint.
Luke Wells says his advice to others so they don't end up feeling victimized like he did would be,
try to buy from primary market sources if you can. This match just so happened to be sold out, so I didn't really have that option. But if you do go through this kind of thing, reach out to them right away, because they were pretty good. I had my money back within a couple days.
So even today, I made a Facebook post to try and find someone to interview who had had a bad experience. That's how I found Luke Wells, and someone said to make the post shareable. So I did, and afterward, a couple of odd responses came in from people I didn't know, who may have not even been people at all, who were clearly fishing for some sort of scam, saying, hey, did you find your tickets yet? I have some, based on the content of my post. So it goes to show just how careful you have to be online these days.
The Winnipeg Folk Festival is celebrating a milestone this summer, and we want you to have the whole experience. Folk Fest is 50 in 2025. As always, it will feature music, workshops, and a whole lot more. And you could be there to make memories of your own. We're giving away tickets for the entire weekend, plus quiet camping for you and 3 friends. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and tell us your favorite memory, whether it's from the first festival or the 49th, and maybe share a pic or two. Good luck. Coming up, we're going to hear a little bit more about some of the equipment used and now stored at the Winnipeg Firefighters Museum. Stay with us. Are you ready to crank up your summer? Country Thunder is bringing the party to Princess Auto Stadium on July 10th, and we've got 4 tickets with your name on them. Get ready to sway and sing along with Riley Green, Tyler Hubbard, Nate Smith, and Madeline Merlot under the Summer Stars. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and enter the clue word, Thunder. Good luck. It's time for Let's Celebrate. Let's see who's having a celebration today. Happy kindergarten graduation to Ava, Love Kensley, Riker, and the rest of all your family. Happy 18th birthday and graduation to Boston from his family and the gang at North 40 Ranch. And of course, Buddy. Happy 17th birthday, Jalen. Love from both your moms and dads, your 3 sisters, and your nieces. Happy grade 12 graduation, Jenna. Your family is so proud of you. Happy 14th birthday, Maddie, and grade 8 farewell. Love mom, dad, and Logan. Happy 20th birthday to James, with love from your family, friends, and your favorite furry pal, Finn. If someone you care about is having a birthday, anniversary, retirement, or graduation, let's celebrate. To submit your celebration, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Let's Celebrate, brought to you by Party Stuff, 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca.
Good morning. It's 8 o'clock on your Wednesday. Thank you so much for staying with us. In the next hour, we're going to introduce you to a researcher from the University of Winnipeg using AI, or looking to use AI to help with all kinds of healthcare issues and medicines. We're going to tell you about that. And then at 8:45, Osborne Village is going to be transformed into a free music festival this weekend. Stay with us for that. But first, your headlines. The trek home begins. What provisions are being made to ease the return of Flin Flon residents? Construction and customers. Businesses along a key St. Vital route say too much of one means too few of the other. And this tunnel project in miniature provides a unique glimpse into one of Europe's most ambitious road initiatives. Bringing in Catherine Dow now, who's giving us a look at weather today. Lots of sunshine, even maybe a few patches of rain.
Yes, it's possible, Rochelle. It's a slight chance, but a chance nonetheless. I'm sure many of our flowers would be happy for a drink. Currently, though, it's looking slightly overcast, a dusting of thin clouds, if you will. It's 12 degrees with those northeasterly winds remaining light. The barometric pressure is rising and the humidity sits at 93%. Yes, you teased it nicely, Rochelle. A slight chance of some rainfall as evidenced by our radar. You can see these sort of smatterings here of instability. Maybe some rain for us here in south central portions. Add in a chance of some thunderstorms to the southwest. That will dissipate that risk, and it is thin. I should really preface this, but that'll break up into the late afternoon, leaving behind a mix of sun and cloud. Meanwhile, to the north, we want rain for you. Today is not the day for it. As evidenced by our futurecast, as the day progresses, we see those showers potentially roll in. Maybe a little bit of cloud coverage, but for the most part, decently sunny. But then tomorrow, here's the good news. We start to see this roll in. So it's likely to come into the daytime tomorrow in areas like Lynn Lake. The bad news is this system, as you can see from that smattering of yellow, brings the possibility of some thunderstorm and lightning. Not great for the wildfire fight. The rainfall is. As the system pushes out, we start to see that chance of thunderstorm activity taper off, and it starts to sprinkle rain off and on throughout this region through the next couple of days. That's the good news. While we deal with a good amount of sunshine, some clouds overnight Thursday, but we clear up nicely on Friday. And then we too get a bit of a mixed bag into the weekend. So let's backtrack a little bit. 24 degrees here for today under those decently cloudy skies, and then those clear couple of days with those seasonal and above seasonal temperatures. Saturday, though, a bit of a wrench thrown in with some rainfall, a 60% shot with a high of 26 degrees. Your weather art of the day, this one expertly drawn and colored by Cash. That is a whale enjoying the rainfall. Thank you so much for submitting that, Cash. And if you have any photos of your kids' weather themes, drawings, and sketches, we would love to see them and feature them on our show. Send them to the email address on your screen there, and we're going to feature one artwork every day at 7 a.m. right here on CTV Morning Live.
Thank you, Catherine. Thousands of residents from Flin Flon are set to return home today after a menacing wildfire forced them to flee nearly a month ago. The out-of-control wildfire is still burning near the northern Manitoba city, but officials say crews have been able to contain it outside the community's boundaries. Officials say disaster and recovery assistance, as well as perishable and non-perishable items from a food bank, will be available on site as people return home. About 5,000 Flin Flon residents, as well as roughly 1,000 from the city city surrounding area were displaced across Manitoba due to wildfires. Roads around the city have been blocked off so crews can do a variety of projects, and one project in particular is drawing the ire of local businesses and residents, a major road revamp on St. Anne's Road.
Pretty much daily, at least half of our clients and our practitioners and staff have to call in and say, I will be quite a bit late.
A massive pavement renewal project on St. Anne's Road is scheduled to last for 20 weeks. Mandy Pepe, the executive director of the Old St. Vital Biz, says while businesses agree the roads need to be repaired, many are questioning the city's approach.
A lot of businesses are asking for some type of, something from the city, maybe, a break on their taxes or something.
The city says they're very willing to troubleshoot what help businesses may need if there are issues that were not anticipated or they underestimated the impact of. The total budget for the work is $5.8 million. NATO leaders are meeting in The Hague at this hour for what could end up being an historic summit.
There are very big things to announce today. I don't know if you've taken the vote or you're going to take the vote, but I've been asking them to go up to 5% for a number of years, and they're going up to 5%. That's a big, from 2%. And a lot of people didn't even pay the 2%.
New defense spending pledges are expected to be the focus of today's meetings. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte is proposing members more than double their current defense spending target from 2% of GDP to 5%. The proposal would include hiking spending to 3.5% of annual GDP on core defense needs like jets and other weapons. Another 1.5% would focus on infrastructure like roads, cybersecurity, and industry. Canada and European allies also want Ukraine to be a focus today. Trump will also be meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Denmark's Legoland has opened a new exhibition on a real-life tunnel that will eventually link Germany with Denmark.
I think we have more than 800,000 Lego bricks in this project, and we have been, I think we are about 20 model builders.
The exhibition includes Lego models of the construction site, including excavators, ships, and personnel working on the project. The tunnel under the Baltic Sea will be 18 kilometers long, but for now, a preview is available in Lego form. Here's a look at what's happening on Donald Street. Things are picking up over here, but overall moving quite well. No issues to tell you about at this hour.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Winnipeg Firefighters Museum. We're learning all about technology and how it's changed over the years for firefighting efforts. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. And even how we put out our fires at home, Rochelle, it's really fascinating to see all of it kind of packaged up in this way for our own history and enjoyment. Martin Johnson joins us once again. Yeah. What are we looking at here when it comes to fire extinguishers? Because it certainly has evolved until now.
We're looking at a series of carbon tetrachloride fire extinguishers. It was a liquid that if it broke up, if you had it broken into or sprayed onto a fire, it would extinguish it just like this. It would smother the fire. The thing is, though, that what you see here in the case, they're in different forms because they evolved for either home use or commercial use. The glass ones here, people would take and they would throw it at a fire. It would break open and the gas would evaporate, snuff out a fire. Problem is, it was carcinogenic, so it was discontinued. Today, you've got in homes, you've got home fire extinguishers that baking soda in them, that you with compressed air in it, and it smothers the fire. But these glass ones are still being brought into fire halls periodically. So they're still out there in older properties. Oh, wow. And people, when they're renovating, they find them, and they will bring 2, 3, or a box full of them, depending on the location. So are grateful that they're treating them gingerly, you know, and then they have to be disposed of safely, but not by the fire department. You know, so
something to look at, not for use, something to look at, and something to, you know, help preserve our history. Or
to look at it in this venue behind the
in
glass.
this venue behind the glass. Okay. Martin, thank you so much. We got more at 8:38 talking about those grass fires and how they've evolved over time with how they're treated.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Break-ins may be down overall, but that doesn't mean thieves are taking the summer off. As more people head out on vacation, criminals are shifting their focus, zeroing in on what's left outside. But as CTV's Sinjin Alexander reports, smart tech is helping homeowners stay one step ahead.
This intruder likely has no idea he's being watched, but his every movement is being captured on camera. The owner, on the other hand, has been alerted in real time there's someone on the property, and without opening the door, sends a warning.
Hey, what do you need, dude?
Sorry, I didn't mean to run into your house. This is a turret camera, so it's a high-definition IP camera.
Crime Stoppers showed off some of the latest gadgets, so-called digital watchdogs, designed to take, well, a bite out of property crime. Surveillance cameras that can spot when someone crosses a line and then showers them with menacing light.
The strobe will go off, and it will let the person who's in your property know that they've been detected. Two-way communication will allow you to actually speak to them. Typically at this point, they're running for the hills.
Of course, what lies outside is much easier to swipe. So once again, as people leave for summer vacations, Crime Stoppers is reminding owners to remove all temptations.
There's also a ladder around the side of the house, and as you can see, there's an open window here. What an easy way for somebody to break into your house, so make sure your ladders are put away. Don't leave your keys on a little hanger like this right by your front door. There's a window here. A burglar can just break through the window, and he's got access to all sorts of things.
The porch pirate plague is well documented. We all know packages should not be left on doorsteps, but we can't be home at all times. Newer surveillance cameras can capture and save images and send intruder alerts instantly.
They've even advanced more now to detect whether it's a human being or a raccoon.
Now, prices for these devices range from about $100 to several hundred. As crooks get more crafty, cameras are becoming more sophisticated. Sinjin Alexander, CTV News, Surrey.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
A little bit cloudy to kick off your Wednesday, 15 degrees with those east-northeasterly winds. The pressure is rising this hour and the humidity sits at 81%. Decent amount of sunshine to come through much of Manitoba and some decent seasonal temperatures as well. We're starting off already in the double digits in Brandon at 12 degrees, Dauphin at 10. Over in our neck of the woods, we're looking more like 16 degrees in Sprague, nice and warm, Gimli at 15. To the north we go, temperatures very similar, maybe a few degrees cooler. However, what you do have in spades today is the sunshine, as evidenced by our radar, because as you can see, the north has a good amount of, the south rather, has a good amount of cloud coverage, plus some instability here that's bringing a slight chance of rainfall and thunderstorm activity. The north, though, lots of sunshine. The kids, as they head out on the bus in Winnipeg, are looking at a temperature of about 13 degrees under decently cloudy skies. Wind staying nice and light, not only in the morning, but throughout the day to come. On the way home, they might need to lose a layer. 23 degrees under mostly cloudy or sunny skies, excuse me. I'm struggling with my words. Winds, meantime, shifting out of the east at 15 kilometers per hour. Overnight tonight, partly cloudy skies with temperatures dipping down to 13. The back half of this work week is looking sunny, clear, and gorgeous. 25 on Thursday, even warmer on Thursday, 27. Bit of a spoiler on the way on Saturday. A 60% chance of rainfall with a high of 26 degrees. A little bit cooler on Sunday with a slight chance of showers, likely a mix of sun and cloud. We're going to be learning some more about a really cool art exhibit that's coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
CTV Morning Live School Day Forecast is brought to you by Rainbow Stage, your season to sing.
Good morning, it's 8:15. The Winnipeg Folk Festival is celebrating a milestone this summer, and we want you to have the whole experience. Folk Fest is 50 in 2025. As always, it will feature music, workshops, and a whole lot more. And you could be there to make memories of your own. We're giving away tickets for the entire weekend, plus quiet camping for you and 3 friends. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and tell us your favorite memory, whether it's from the first festival or the 49th, and maybe share a pic or two. Good luck.
Canada's benchmark stock index, the S&P TSX Composite, pushed further into record high territory yesterday, closing at 26,718 points. It's now up 8% so far this year. U.S. stocks also rose sharply yesterday, and stock market futures contracts were mainly higher this morning. Investors now see only a slim chance the Bank of Canada will cut its benchmark interest rate the next time it makes a rate announcement on July the 30th. Yesterday, new inflation figures showed core inflation in Canada running at 3.0% in May. That's likely too high, some economists said, for the bank to cut the rate next month without fanning inflationary pressures. Shares of FedEx, meanwhile, were down about 5% in pre-market trading this morning. The company's profit forecast for the current quarter missed analyst expectations. Citing a weak global market for package shipping, a senior company executive said, quote, "We just simply cannot predict how that is going to play out." From the BNN Bloomberg Newsroom in Toronto, I'm Paul Bagnall.
A local artist is using his own home as his art gallery, selling and showing art to the public. Roger Lorenzo puts on an art event every year and started it more than 25 years ago. Joining us now to tell us more about his annual art exhibit is artist Roger Lorenzo. Good morning, Roger.
Morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, your house is in Royalwood, and you use it as an exhibit or as your art gallery. How did this all begin for you?
It began about 25 years ago. I had a friend of mine, Rob Sim. I was exhibiting with him and for a few other artists, and his pricing was so low. I asked him about it, and it's because he invited his friends. And so I've taken that philosophy and it becomes accessible art to people I know, and gradually over the years it's expanded to the neighborhood.
Wow. And so what is it like when people come in through your homes? Is it strange?
Well, it's strange for them sometimes. I think some people come in expecting it to be in the garage. Mm-hmm. It's essentially art up on the walls, so they get to see art the way it might look in their own homes and the way it should be displayed. And so they get to wander through the house, and there are tags explaining the media, the artist, the cost, mm-hmm. and so they just wander around. They get as much or as little help as they like, depending on how comfortable they feel around the art.
And we're talking lots of different pieces as well. Very
many pieces. There's some of my own, but there's also dozens of artists represented. It's our collection, and it's all kinds of media. There's watercolors, paintings, there are textile pieces, sculpture, ceramic, glass, you name it, printmaking.
Okay, so we're looking, and this is your living room here, this image?
Right, and it's pretty typical of what you might see throughout the house. There's a large piece there in the back, as you can see.
On the wall?
And in the cubby holes you'll see some other paintings. There's some sculpture there, I believe. It's just displayed throughout the house. And down the stairs, there's some even in the bathroom.
That is so neat. So do people ever get confused and try to steal the lamp or take the lamp or?
Well, that lamp actually was for sale.
Oh, there you go.
I think some of the furniture, typically furniture is not for grabs, but I think the furniture is an extension of the art. Mm-hmm. We have people coming in who've had very little exposure to art. They have lovely homes, and but then what they have on the wall is often just a reproduction, something they went to the store for.
Right, yeah.
And that makes them happy. That's no problem. I'm not going to burst that bubble. But in coming to see some original art and a variety of art, I think it exposes them to perhaps choices they hadn't considered.
And it's set up in a home, so you can visualize it almost in your own home when you see it mounted like that.
Absolutely, it makes a difference.
And how did you connect with the many artists that you also put on exhibit in your home?
Well, it's my collection, so I don't actually have to connect with them, although I have had some of them over for this. And in fact, I've commissioned some local artists to create small pieces. Again, I like to have a variety of price points so that people can come in and feel like they can afford something. It's not a money-making venture as such. It's more about getting my costs back, basically. Mm-hmm. Again, because I keep it low. It's just a wonderful opportunity to meet people who love art, have that conversation. I can explain process to them. I can explain about the artist, the period, there's just so many interesting conversations that take place.
And then once it's over, you just close the door and you lock it.
Exactly.
And you're at home.
Till next year.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing this with us. And if you do want more information, we have a link on our website. Thanks, Roger.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I gotta say, it's a work of art out here. Nice and sunny. Temperatures at 15 degrees currently. Lighter winds out of the east-northeast. The pressure's on the rise and the humidity is at 81%. So yes, a good amount of sunshine on the way, particularly for northern Manitoba, plus some highs into the low 20s. Of course, with those wildfires, you really need some rainfall. You're likely to get it tomorrow, and it's likely to stick around for a couple of days. It'll start in the northwest and start to fan out over the entire north. So look forward to that. The bad news with that, though, is a slight chance of some thunderstorms and lightning, again, not helping that wildfire fight. For us here in the south, bit of a different story. We're going to get some more clouds this morning. Slight chance of some rainfall in Winnipeg, about a 30% shot. Meanwhile, Brandon and Nipawin, a slight chance of rainfall as well, plus throw in the risk of thunderstorms. Temperatures here in the mid-20s. For us in Winnipeg, that's 24 degrees. Winds remaining light. Overnight tonight, temperatures dipping down to 13 in Winnipeg under partly cloudy skies. Winds stay light overnight but ramp up into tomorrow out of the southeast at 20 kilometers per hour. A high of 25 degrees under clear sunny skies. We'll hang on to that theme on Sunday, or Friday, excuse me, with a high of 27 and clear sunny skies. I need to chug some coffee. All right, your CTV Morning Live picture of the day. Look at this yellow warbler. That's what Alan tells me he snapped in the English Gardens at Assiniboine Park. Thank you, Alan, our intrepid weather photo photographer. If you have any weather photos you'd like to send our way, please email them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful at 900 Lorimer Boulevard, featuring Hunter Douglas shades.
Nearly half a century since Terry Fox inspired the nation with his Marathon of Hope. His younger brother Daryl is building on that legacy with a cross-country journey of his own. CTV's Abigail Beeman on the emotional milestone.
Daryl Fox has been thinking about this stop for weeks.
I knew I was going to get to this point, and I knew that it would be extremely emotional, and it has been.
Thunder Bay, Ontario, where his brother Terry was forced to end his Marathon of Hope 45 years ago.
We got to go home and try and do some more treatment.
Daryl's team of cyclists started in Vancouver, riding an average of 220 kilometers a day, calling it the National Ride of Hope, Terry's dream on wheels.
He didn't do it for himself, he was doing it for others. So to me, that's the reason why I'm here. I aspire to be like that.
Through heat, injuries, and grueling days, keeping Terry's message of hope alive fuels these cyclists.
This journey has been about meeting people who have experienced cancer and are alive today because of the investment we made over the last 45 years in cancer research.
Now past the halfway mark and headed on to St. John's, where Terry dipped his artificial leg in the Atlantic to start the run in 1980.
I wake up every morning and I pinch myself because who am I? I'm Terry Fox's brother, and he's within me every day, every pedal stroke. Terry has taught me that limitations are self-imposed and we can do anything, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
A researcher at the University of Winnipeg is studying how artificial intelligence can be used in medicine and in healthcare. Chin Liu is putting together a research team to look at how AI can help with fighting diseases, creating new medicines, and even tailored treatments based on someone's genetic makeup. Joining us now with more on this research is assistant professor at U of W's Department of Applied Computer Science, Chin Liu. Good morning, Chin.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, so many people are still afraid of AI. You know, they think that by giving computers that much control, things can go bad, but we can actually use it for good, right?
Yeah, definitely. Well, there's some discussion about whether the AI can replace humans in some of the works, like translation or things like that. But in my research directions, AI can help with such as protein structure design, which won the Nobel Prize last year.
Okay.
And also like design new drugs and diagnosis the Alzheimer's disease, like the project funded by Manitoba Medical Service Foundation. And also, I believe in healthcare, AI is still in the early stage.
Right.
There's no, it's far away from replacing the doctors, but we're excited to develop and apply and try to involve them in helping diagnosis or treatment or finding a cure for specific disease.
And for example, we're going to use Alzheimer's for an example here. You could actually pre-diagnose someone before the symptoms even arise with the help of AI, and that's the goal, right?
Yeah, we're doing the explorations. We have some large data sets available with the patient's age and other ethnicity or clinical features. And then we can bring them together, also the medical images and their genetic makeup, as you said, and try to connect all the information together to see which are the significant biomarkers which can connect to the early diagnosis.
Wow.
Like if we have the long-term their disease progress, so we can see the early data we collected, how they can develop to the later stage.
That's exciting. So, I mean, this is, genetics is a new science, AI is still a new science. You're kind of helping to advance this research. What do you want people to know about why Winnipeg is such a good place to do this kind of research?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Winnipeg has the unique weather.
It's cold here.
It's cold, and our winter is longer.
Yeah.
I think it's perfect to build AI and data center, which we need a large number of big computers.
Right.
They need a energy-intensive cooling system, but since we have the natural conditions, we can reduce that cost. And also, we're relatively safe here from the earthquakes or floods, so it's stable. Another thing is we're kind of building a talent pool. High-quality personners in University of Winnipeg, like the AI and informatics research group we're building. We have more than 15 graduate students and postdocs and senior research associates. So we kind of catch up with the big cities like Montreal and Toronto.
So the future is AI, and it's happening right here in our city. Thank you so much for sharing this with us, and good luck with your research. Can't wait to find out more.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I feel an AI weather person wouldn't misspeak as much as me, but they wouldn't have my sass, okay? It's currently 15 degrees, slightly overcast out there, good amount of sunshine. Winds are out of the east-northeast. The barometric pressure's on the rise, and the humidity sits at 81%. Yes, a little bit of cloud coverage on the way, as you can see by our radar. We have this light smattering there. That's bringing, along with the clouds, slight chance of some rain for us here in Winnipeg. Maybe some thunderstorm activity in areas in the southwest, like Brandon and Nipoa. Meanwhile, our temperature is decently warm. 24 degrees is what we're looking at. 25 is what's typical. We'll call it a wash. Winds are remaining light throughout the day out of the northeast at 15 kilometers per hour. Overnight, winds not changing too much. Temperatures dipping down to 13 under those partly cloudy skies. Into tomorrow, though, the winds ramp up and shift slightly out of the southeast at 20 kilometers per hour. A seasonal high of 25 degrees. We start off with clear skies, and the clouds move in into the afternoon, bringing more of a mix of sun and cloud. A little bit of everything ahead for the weekend, a bit of a mixed bag, if you will. 27 on Friday under those clear sunny skies. Saturday, though, a 60% chance of rainfall, precipitation, with a high of 26. And then Sunday, slight chance of those showers coming back with a high of 25 under a mix of sun and cloud. But look at that mercury heat up with lots of sunshine into the start of next work week.
Thank you, Catherine. Manitoba's trade office in Washington is officially open. The office is being headed up by Richard Madden, a journalist who spent several years as a White House correspondent for various Canadian news networks, including CTV. Earlier in his career, he was a TV reporter right here in Winnipeg. The DC office has a mandate to develop trade relationships with lawmakers, industry leaders, and others to further Manitoba's interests. Premier Wamkanu announced plans for the trade office back in December in light of the threat posed by U.S. tariffs. Boeing Canada is showing off a cool new expansion at its Winnipeg facility, including a massive 7,000 square foot freezer. Boeing officials cut the ribbon Tuesday to officially open the $20 million expansion. The factory needs the giant freezer because the resin-filled carbon fiber used to make the parts needs to be stored at minus 23 degrees Celsius. It's thawed just before production begins. This new freezer doubles the site's capacity, allowing the plant to produce more parts for Boeing's commercial aircraft fleet.
This is the largest advanced composite manufacturing facility in Canada. The team is highly experienced, so this investment really is about the future. It's about leveraging the talents of this team to be able to build really important components for a commercial aircraft.
Boeing Canada's president expects 44,000 aircraft will be required in the global market over the next 20 years. This is Boeing's fifth expansion since the Winnipeg facility opened in 1971. A Brampton, Ontario man is facing charges after more than $23 million in drugs was seized at the border. The Canada Border Services Agency says it found 187 kilograms of cocaine hidden in a commercial truck entering Canada at the Blue Water Bridge crossing in Sarnia, Ontario. The suspect has been charged with importing cocaine and possession of cocaine for the purpose of trafficking. Two former Winnipeggers have been named to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Duncan Keith is the three-time Stanley Cup winner, two-time Olympic gold medalist, and two-time Norris Trophy winner as the NHL's top defenseman in a 17-year career. He played for the Chicago Blackhawks between 2005 and 2021 before a one-year stint with the Oilers. And Jennifer Botterill was a member of three gold medal winning Olympic teams and won MVP at the 2011 IIHF Women's World Championships. Thousands of students are graduating high school this week, and for some, it's better late than never. We're celebrating the inspirational grads-to-be from the Winnipeg Adult Education Center. And as CTV's Daniel Homerson shows you, among them are newcomers and one high school dropout who's risen to the top of her class.
And make us less likely to judge those who walk the path less traveled.
Zoe McKay's rehearsing a speech she never thought she'd write. She's valedictorian for the Winnipeg Adult Education Center's class of 2025.
I think I would have probably laughed if you told me this would happen at some point. I am kind of in disbelief. It's really exciting.
It's a big change for the 28-year-old who dropped out of high school more than a decade ago.
I wasn't able to make that a priority at the time, which was always a huge regret of mine.
McKay is among the 150 or so mature students who will cross this stage Thursday to receive their diploma.
It's important here in Canada also. It opens everything. Whether you want to go for university, college, or you want to work.
Many of the grads-to-be are new to Canada after fleeing war-torn countries like Eritrea and Ukraine.
I had to upgrade my credits to learn English, to become more fluent in English, and also to finish my grade 12 courses to be able to enter the university.
The school's principal says adult learners may come from different backgrounds and circumstances.
Talk about complicated lives. So a lot of our students have children. They work full time.
But Dino Di Fabrizio adds these students all share a common goal.
They come in with such great intentions on what they could potentially do, and it's inspirational watching them make this walk and take this journey.
And they have some advice for people who haven't started that journey yet.
After you take the first step, and then the other steps will they just continue by themselves. So just take the first step.
Don't be scared of change. Change can give you the ability to transform your circumstances and take agency over your path going forward. Just jump into the great unknown and see what happens.
Daniel Homerson, CTV News, Winnipeg.
And here's a look now what's happening on the St. James Bridge. Things are moving well over here. As you can see, no issues to tell you about. If you see problems out there, though, let us know, please. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.40. The provincial average is lower at $1.32. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.31. The lowest price in Winnipeg is $1.24. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by KidneyCard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
It's time now to check with our question of the day. We wanted to know, what advice would you give your teenage self? Susan says to have never smoked. Thank you, Susan. April says to listen to your gut feelings. Your instincts are never wrong. Yes, thank you for that. Jackie says once you start working, put money in the bank. Only keep what you really need and move your funds into high interest GICs. Then you can retire earlier. Thank you so much for your responses and your advice. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Winnipeg Firefighters Museum. There's so many things to look at and see and learn when you're at the museum, and you can even touch a few things too. Good morning.
I hope people come by and check it out, Rochelle. It is a true hidden gem right in the heart of our city. Ted Gerlich joins us once again. We're talking about grass fires with hotter, drier temperatures. Of course, we see it in Manitoba. We're no stranger to this. But in real time, we're looking at the evolution of it and how those sorts of fires would have been combated back in the day.
Well, it would have started with basically a shovel and a broom. And, of course, we were never faced with the big grass fires that we would have in, like, around Flint Lawn and out in Lac du Bonnet area that we know what happened this spring. But we have a lot of forest in Winnipeg too, and we have had fires in them, and they are very difficult to fight. Many times, starting out, we would have a floating pump similar to that, and that would be any bit of water in a slough or a dugout or whatever, and we'd hook up to that, and it would give you water in an area. We would also have a backpack, and it was almost like a knapsack that would carry 4 or 5 gallons of water on the back, and you'd have a little pump and a hose coming from there, and you'd stem and push a little bit of water out onto a little bit of grass, and then kill it with a broom. Basically, you did what you had to. You used what you had to. It was just an archaic way, but it did work.
Well, you talk about the labor. Just how intense is that?
Yes, it's not easy. It's really exhausting, and it takes a lot of toll on your body. Like what our firefighters went through in the northern part of our province this year is entirely overwhelming. Like, my hat goes off to all of them.
I hope people come here. Sundays, 10 a.m.
10 to 2 every Sunday.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes.
This has been such an awesome morning, Rochelle, whether it be the apparatus, whether it be the second floor, the level of research that and work that goes into this. And also, one more time, hats off to all the firefighters here in Manitoba.
Absolutely. They did so much to help our community. All right. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. Firefighters, all they wanted was rain, and some parts of Manitoba will get some of that.
Yeah, a slight chance of it in the south, but where it really needs it, there's a very good chance of some rain coming. That is the good news, because yes, firefighters are heroes, can't be said enough, and yeah, we could use some assistance from Mother Nature right about now. Speaking of right about now, it's 15 degrees here in Winnipeg. Winds are out of the east-northeast. Good amount of sunshine, though the clouds are starting to roll in. The barometric pressure is rising, and the humidity sits at 81%. So we mentioned that rainfall. To the north, today is going to be sunny, gorgeous, temperatures peaking in the low 20s. Excuse me. But into tomorrow, that's when that chance of rainfall comes. This system is going to push into the northwest, bringing with it, unfortunately, the possibility of some thunderstorms and lightning. That's not what we want, but that rainfall will likely be accompanying it. Likely in the Lynn Lake area to start, and then fanning out over the next 2 days-ish, pushing further into the east. So a good couple of days of rainfall. Hopefully it'll be substantial. For us here in the south, we too have a slight chance of some rainfall today. It's about a 30% shot. Likely will stay dry. Meanwhile, that same chance comes to the southwest. There is a chance of thunderstorm activity, though. Temperatures in this region peaking into the mid-20s. All right, let's take a break here on CTV Morning Live, but so much more still to come on this Wednesday. Don't go anywhere.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Good morning. Many people will be using extra water during the summer months, whether it's filling up the pool, watering the flowers, or running through a sprinkler. But it's important to keep a close eye on your water usage. CTV's Pat Foran shares the stories of two people who were shocked to get water bills for thousands of dollars because of leaky toilets.
I was shocked. I actually laughed because I'm like, there's no way that this is correct.
Alan Deoki Singh bought a unit in this Scarborough condominium. In the fall of 2023, he was told his water consumption was higher than usual. And even though it's a newer building, he eventually found out he had not one, but two leaky toilets.
I just don't know how you could let this thing run for 6 months and let it just add up.
Deoki Singh had to pay a water bill of $9,000. He rents out the unit and says before he could get the toilets replaced, he was hit again with another bill of $8,500 for a total of more than $17,000.
Think of it, like I'm paying, you're looking at like $17,000 you want from me because of water.
This is not just about me. This could happen to anybody.
Olive May of Welland had a toilet running in her basement and was shocked to get a bill of more than $7,500. Her son-in-law says she is only billed every 3 months and was given no warning that something was wrong.
We're not denying that it leaked. We just think that it's an exorbitant amount of money to pay for a water bill.
Deoki Singh's water provider, PowerStream Energy Services, says he must pay the outstanding bill, telling CTV News, "We are aware of a plumbing issue impacting this residence. Water usage within a property remains the responsibility of the account holder." May has also been told she must pay her water bill in full. The city of Welland said the homeowner acknowledged a leaky toilet. Every homeowner is responsible for the water consumed on their property. To avoid high water bills, listen and check for leaky toilets. You should be able to hear running water, or you can put food dye in the back of the tank and see if it leaks through to the toilet bowl. May and Deoki Singh remain frustrated they have to pay the huge water bills.
I paid more than my fair share. Let's just get on with my life.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Friday is Canadian Multiculturalism Day, and the Osborne Village Biz is celebrating with a new free music festival. It's called Village Music Fest, and it will include more than 35 musicians and artists both Friday and Saturday. And joining us now from the Osborne Village Biz is Zori Gervais. Good morning, Zori.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, this is kind of exciting. It's brand new. What is it you wanted to do in 2 days in Osborne Village to celebrate this day?
You know, Osborne Village is such a diverse community, both in terms of our business members and the residents in the area, and we really wanted to showcase that.
Yeah.
So we are celebrating the diversity of Osborne Village through a great lineup of so many different artists from across many different backgrounds and genres. They're playing on Friday night and all day Saturday from pretty much 1 p.m. to midnight. So it's going to be, I think, just a really cool opportunity to come and check out Osborne and see what's happening in the music scene in Canada.
And the businesses in the area must be so pumped as well, because we're talking foot traffic going in and out of their businesses throughout 2 days. What are they hoping to see from this?
I think everybody's hoping to, show off how vibrant Osborne is. There's been a lot of naysayers saying, oh, Osborne is dying, all that kind of stuff, but really it's not. It's thriving, and we have so many different amazing businesses, everything from, like little restaurants and cafes to beautiful courtyards, which is one of the venues, as well as lots of fantastic bars and nightclubs. So I think it's going to be a great opportunity to show people what's happening in Osborne.
And safety obviously is also top of mind for many people. You're going to prove with this festival that it's safe to be there, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And we'll have our new community safety team walking around as well.
Okay, let's talk about these artists, these musicians that are coming from all over the country, really. 35. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so this was such a great opportunity to showcase how multiculturalism is changing the Canadian indie music scene. There's just so much cool stuff happening. So we have everything from like a Filipino punk rock band to Kim Wardle and Hera, Fontaine, Kelly Badu, who just released a new song recently. There's so many great artists from, there's literally something for everybody to check out in this festival.
And this is happening both Friday and Saturday. There's also really cool art installations that are going to be, sort of spread throughout the village. Tell us about those artists.
Sure. So we've had a couple of artists doing kind of a pop-up installation throughout the village over the last month. So people have seen these kind of temporary murals and really cool things just kind of hitting different corners. So you can kind of just discover it, go explore these different pop-up pieces. We're also going to have a few different artists, and we're not announcing them. It's going to be a bit of a surprise.
That's cool.
But doing some interactive pieces that you can come and participate in on the Saturday afternoon. So that'll be happening happening in the community patio area, which is also itself an art installation right now. So that's like the little alleyway between Osborne, Stradbrook, River, that kind of area. And they have a really cool installation in there right now that Cool Gardens did for us. So that's already cool. And then there's going to be other cool stuff to do.
So fun. Okay, and I think it's going to be good weather for you as well.
I hope so.
What do you want people to know about some of the venues that are sort of having musicians inside, and then there's others that are spilling out on the street as well?
Yeah, so most of the venues are in like bars, nightclubs, because they were the ones that had big enough capacity and, you know, stages to have these artists. But we also have 2 other outdoor venues. One is the Small Mercies Courtyard, which is a cafe, and it's hidden. So if people haven't been there before, like, it is well worth checking out. It's such a cool space in Winnipeg. And then also the Bell Tower at the corner of Stradbrook and Osborne.
Any reason to get out there and celebrate the village? Why not?
Right?
So many great businesses. Okay, well, thank you for sharing this with us. If you want more information or a list of some of the talent that you're sharing, we have a link on our website. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I will attest, the Small Mercies Courtyard is like out of a Pinterest board. It's stunning. Anyway, let's talk about the way the day is shaping up. Looking fairly stunning out there. 15 degrees with some sunshine, a little speckle of cloud coverage. Winds are out of the east-northeast. The barometric pressure is rising and the humidity sits at 81%. And the clouds likely to build throughout the afternoon, bringing a slight chance of some rainfall, as evidenced by these little disturbances that we start to see push over the international border. For the north, however, in the area that could use the sunshine, it's looking like a good amount of, use the rain, it's looking like a good amount of sunshine. We're almost done, Catherine. Temperatures at a high of 22 degrees in Thompson, 20 in Gillam, even warmer in Churchill under a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 24. To the northwest, similar highs, skies clear. However, the good news is rainfall is likely for much of northern Manitoba into tomorrow and the next couple days to come. So hopefully that'll hamper, or help rather, those firefighting efforts. What could be hampering it, however, it does come with some slight instability, a chance of some thunderstorm activity. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that it's just the rain that's plentiful. To the southwest, this region also has a chance of some thunderstorm activity, a slight shot, about 30%, while the rest of it likely to deal with lots of sunshine and highs of 23 degrees. For us here, we have that slight chance of rainfall, light winds, fairly overcast skies to start us off, and then clearer skies into the afternoon, a high in Winnipeg of 24 degrees. Northwestern Ontario, slight chance of some precipitation for you as well. Temperatures at 23 degrees across the board with a mix of sun and cloud. Overnight tonight, temperatures dipping down to 13 degrees with winds remaining light. They do ramp up a bit into tomorrow. We're looking at southeasterly gusts at 20 kilometers per hour with a high of 25 degrees. We get even warmer on Friday with lots more sunshine. And then Saturday, 60% chance of some precipitation with a high of 26. All right, we're going to take a break, but your videos of the day still to come on CTV Morning Live. Don't go anywhere.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center.
Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Well, Catherine, before we say goodbye, we're going to kick things off with some cute video, including this one of a bird of prey who likes to play. Benji the hawk loves his agility training. Watch him run in and out of tunnels, up and down ramps, and weave between the poles. He's been training since he was 3 months old, and he doesn't look like he'll be slowing down anytime soon.
What is he training for? The Olympics?
I don't know.
The Hawk Olympics? Yeah. I mean, this is a lot to brag about, so I get it.
He's good.
Yeah,
yeah, well,
better than me.
Well, 'tis the season to garden, and some people need all the help they can get. This woman has 4 happy helpers. Look at her assistants carrying their watering cans into the garden. The only downside is that they don't want to give up their jugs when it's actually time to water.
I love that all their watering cans are differently sized to suit them
and different colors, so they know which one's theirs.
They're wagging tails. I love it.
That does it for us. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.